What do you say, Gary?
There's Rodney Dow. What's happening, Rod?
What's happening? I'm looking to see. I see we got looking for the first one to come through. I see we got 3 on this little deal. See who was first there.
I got Rodney Dow and Jasmine Page.
Jasmine Page.
Yes.
Cool. How was your 4th of July?
Man, it was pretty awesome. 4 days off. This is day number 4. That means back at it tomorrow.
Back at it tomorrow?
Back to work.
I see you cutting, grinding, welding, and bending and making videos. You over there putting together a fuel tank?
I'm putting together a new fuel tank. I got to get that situated, and I can get a bar built around it to meet rules, and I'll have space below, tucked down in front and below in that lower corner right there.
Behind that headlight?
No, down a little bit lower than that. Underneath there, there's a pocket. We'll put the whatchamacallit?
Catch can?
Yes, the engine breathing tank. It'll be one tank. Both lines will go in there and hit that. So,
very good.
Yep, I got plenty of stuff to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Kim Taylor, Jim Lauer. Hey, Jim.
I see Larry Hunt's watching.
All right. Hey, Larry. Larry Hunt. Mr. Titans. Mark Werdehausen. Hey, Mark. What's up, buddy?
Mr. Tito.
Tito.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would you work on anything for your 4 days off?
No, I just what did I do? Play a little bit around the house, went out to Keys for a little bit, and just been doing some studying. So
okay.
We'll see.
Okay, studying.
Yes. No, but also helping a guy out there. He's got a couple questions for an AOD. I've been helping him with that. So we'll see how that plays out. He's a good guy. You might.
Hey, Rod.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting comments on your side?
Nope.
Okay.
I see it down on the phone, but I don't see it up there.
Okay, then we're getting comments on the Facebook side. Live viewer comments show up on. Oh, that was you. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing. Nobody's watching through. Nobody's commenting.
We can do a test. Larry Hunt can make a comment just to test. It says, or Jim Lauer did. It said, "Hey guys."
Yeah, that's on the Facebook side. It looks like.
Okay.
Okay. No biggie. Just weird. We've usually got comments rolling on the. Weird.
Mark Tito said, "What's up, fellas?"
Caesar Tellez. Hello, Caesar. I know who Caesar is. Nobody else does watching this. He's taking care of some parts for me.
Caesar. I know who Caesar is.
He's involved in my LS program here. So welcome to our show.
SBF 2.0.
There's a comment.
Hey,
okay.
Larry Hunt,
Joshua Page says this come through. Yes.
Yep.
That's weird. All right. Just a little stranger than I've been used to seeing.
Sure. You got all your fingers and toes from the fireworks?
I do.
All right.
I do. Yes. Yeah. We seen you, we was at Troy's Wednesday night. I mean, that was a lot of fun.
It was. What do you think they spent? About $3 million?
Yeah.
Somewhere 3.3 million, 3.5.
Yeah, enough to buy a couple billet Hemi blocks.
Yeah.
For Troy.
Yeah.
Devin Brown watching.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, they had a good show, good food. It's always a good time over there at Troy's doing that. We enjoy it. I want to. Okay. If man, this is let's see if it goes through the YouTube side. If somebody's watching through the YouTube side, there should be a little. I'll just do this. Down here in this lower right corner should be a little box. It's a little subscribe box that can pop up down there, and it makes it easy to subscribe. I can't see it on our end, but maybe people watching through the YouTube side can see it. It's something new. I just discovered we could do that, so it's should be set up now, but we don't know. So, but if you see it over there and you're not subscribed,
Hit the button.
it's over there and it'll pop up and do its thing. And so,
Cool.
yeah, just something, a new thing that we found. So,
Yeah.
where are we at here? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I've been working on. Let me show you this. I'm working on a fuel tank.
Right on.
It'll be about a 4.5 gallon. It measures about 4.7, but it'll probably actually hold about 4.5. It'd be plenty. Be plenty for what we're doing. A little bit bigger than I had. It'll fit better in the space that I had, or the new space that I got.
Sure.
So yeah,
getting that ready for the drag and drive.
Getting that ready for the drive it to the lane, race it, and drive it back to the trailer type of deal.
There you go.
For
that's good.
For some limited
inlet there. What's that bar going across?
That's the vent tube.
Okay, is that what that is?
Yep. That vents, it goes down to the bottom, it goes across, and it's all inside, and it comes back up, and the other side will be a filter.
Okay.
Or a breather filter.
Nice.
Mark says streetcar stuff.
Streetcar stuff.
Yeah, something like
Very
that.
Nice. Looks good.
Excuse me.
I saw you working
on that. What's that?
I saw you working on it. Did you make it over to Jenkins?
I did. I went over to Marvin's and put a couple brakes on some metal there and on that aluminum, and made 2 halves out of it. Made a top and a bottom. And I'm not going to weld the bottom on yet. I got to wait a little bit. I don't know where the pole will be, location for the fuel pump, because I don't know where the fuel pump's going to be versus take it from the bottom on the side or underneath. I don't know that yet.
Yeah.
So
just make sure you weld the bottom on before you put fuel in it.
Right. Good to know. Ron Rich is watching.
Tip right there.
Yeah, pro tip.
Right there.
Yeah. So I've been working on that a little bit.
Cool.
Just a little bit of progress. I've been ordering stuff. I got Forced Inductions had a sale on 4th of July sale, 15% off. I got a turbo on order.
Man, with that kind of discount, you could buy 2 or 3, just have them sitting on the shelf. Golly.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice discount. 15% off is a nice discount.
Yeah, anything above 10, man, that's awesome. That's a good time to jump on that.
Yep, got some collectors ordered. Got to make new headers. Collectors are ordered. Chris Stewart ordered me some collectors, and he ordered me some flanges from the place he gets stuff from. Is real nice stuff. So getting parts coming on the way. So
all right,
building this kind of stuff's fun. I like it.
Yeah. Well, you're good at it.
It's fun. You do something to do.
Yeah.
Waiting on parts. Ron, dang, I wish these comments would come up on here. Ron says, how big is the turbo? It's not as big as the one I got.
Smaller.
It's as big as Rodney's. It's 110. Yep. It's that big.
That's big. That's a good size.
It is. Well, they're Ford motors. I mean, they like that.
And now that you've let everybody know, I'm glad that you've come to realization there. So that's good stuff.
Yeah. Scott Linker says 166.
Ooh.
I still think something's wrong with the comments because nothing is coming through on our deal here. It's very strange.
Yeah.
I can see all this stuff over here, but oh well, we'll be
the same on my side too, Gary.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know. But that's all right. We'll be all right.
Yep.
Maybe it's not even going through YouTube. I guess it is that one guy commented.
Yeah, Josh came through.
Huh. Well, yeah, that was the YouTube side. Well, last week we said our YouTube channel hit 200 subscribers.
Right.
Today it's at 210. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
That's you. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give myself a shout out here. My YouTube channel has been pretty quiet for a little bit. I hit 100. I hit 100 subscribers today.
What?
So yeah.
Look at you.
I haven't done anything on there for a while because I haven't been building anything. I've been kind of in limbo, figuring out this limited deal. Now I'm kind of in build mode again. Now that I got stuff to do. So it's fun. I don't know it. If you want to subscribe and check it out, there's kind of some cool stuff. If you dig that kind of stuff, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, there's some good stuff on there, man.
Yeah. I'll try to get some more stuff and get that YouTube channel hopping a little better. But
right on.
I've been after that a little bit, so it hit 100 today. So I thought that was cool.
Very cool.
I did have actually the lower left of the deal that says 4,300 views. That was a hot little short that fired off yesterday.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I picked up a few out of that, but that stuff's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Tony says, Scott Linker, that's the turbo size on your new car.
166.
Hey, Scott said he's going to buy a new car a long time ago.
That's what I heard.
At? Where's it at?
Well, I think it's on order. They got to build those things.
Okay. All right.
He's probably got something super nice coming together. Knowing Scott.
Yes. Yeah, there's a ton of them for sale out there too. You can just go scoop one up and go racing.
Sure.
Kimberly Schote. Hi, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Limited. This class called Limited?
Yeah, I heard about it. I got a flyer on it.
There's some fellas. Scott says, what does the car have to weigh in Limited?
I don't think there's any balance rules unless you run over to Ozark, and then you got to be about 4,000 pounds.
Ozark and Flying H.
If your name's Gary, you got to weigh 3,500.
Well, that's Nate Bell. Those are Nate's rules, and I'm gonna change my name. On the side of my door, on my window, it's gonna say, "My name is not Gary."
My name is.
I am not Gary, so I don't got to weigh 3,500. That's a Nate Bell rule.
Right. Have you, speaking of the limited class, have you looked in the inbox lately? Got any more applications to go to limited?
Yes, I do actually. I was going to show that to you. Look at this.
Okay.
This is a new one that came in. It's limited 275 racer application.
Okay.
Can you read that? Can you see it?
I see it.
Well, the first thing I caught it was Topeka, Kansas. Full name is None Ya Business.
Yeah. None Ya Business.
The address. You see the address?
Yeah. Spiderweb.com. I get it.
Web. Is there something with the web? I know there's a web over there.
Is there a web over there? Kind of famous.
There's a web over there. Because the address is your mom's house.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You see, there's a telephone number. You'll call that.
Let's call it up.
1-843-6572. You know what that is, though? Yeah, I know. Social Security number, cash only.
Yeah.
Position applied for, limited 275 champ.
Hey, a U.S. citizen, looks like. Have you ever worked for this employer? Nope. Yep. Well, good. You got an application in. I was wondering if it was coming.
Yeah. Who do you think that might be?
I don't know. I'd say we would go ahead and approve it through.
You don't want to speculate who it might be?
Oh, I think I can see it right there in the name. I see the name popping out.
Spiderweb.
Uh-huh.
I think that's a trick email.
Is that a trick email?
I wouldn't send an email.
Wasn't his brother the 8-5 champ?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Hey, I guess if somebody wanted to, send an email to spiderweb@gmail.com and see if anything comes back. I just made that up.
Yeah. Taking applications for limited. Come on over.
Oh, I messed up my screen. Mrs. Harper is watching.
All right, on.
Mrs. Harper, how is Mr. Harper doing?
Yeah, I've heard good things from that.
Yeah, so I believe this might be Tim Webb. Could I be wrong?
I would put my money on that, especially because you got Webb and Champ. So, yeah.
And Topeka. Topeka is a giveaway.
And None Ya Business.
All right.
I love it. Your mom's house.
Your mom's house.
That's where I live.
I seen this. This is Radial Outlaws. I only snatched this and brought it up because our guy Cameron races in this X275. This is Duck's Radial Outlaws deal, you know?
Yeah.
And they're going to be in Alabama. I shoved the dates up in the top right corner there. July 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's like 2 weeks.
That's 2 weeks.
The week after next. I haven't talked to Cameron, have no idea if he's racing this, but he hasn't raced for a while. So he might be itching to do something like this. So
Tony,
that's one reason. Yeah. Tony.
Looks like your buddy's Cadillac's on there too.
Yep. It's an X car now. No. Is that a Pro 275 car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I just brought that up so we could talk about Cameron for a second. We haven't. He's pretty busy. He may not have time for this.
Oh man, Tony says, does he even still race or is he retired?
Tony, does he?
Oh my goodness, where's he at? He might be retired. Heck, just a shout out to Luxury because no joke, on July 4th they were back here working.
Hey, is he talking about Cameron or is he talking about Scott Linker?
I think he's talking about Cameron. We just asked him a question and he just said, still racing or retired.
Moving on. We know
I
he's
don't
at
think
Troy's.
Scott Linker's retired. Maybe he can answer that. I don't know.
You know, we was at Troy's the other night.
Yeah.
And did you see the refrigerator? What was on the refrigerator?
I did see that. That's just incredible.
Here it is. Just as a July schedule.
Right. He's going to the Summer Nationals.
Hopefully not.
He's going to race Pro-Am.
Right.
Yeah.
Heads up in KC. What's that? 7-5, July 5th. He's got 3 days of special
order
things.
iron dart block. Sell billet block.
July 6th, sell the billet block.
July 7th, sell Haltech, order Holly. Golly, he's making all the right moves.
Man, it really is going to run good. We should be scared now.
Holy cow. Yeah. And then he's heading over to Kansas City in August.
Heads up KC
in August.
Yep.
Man, he is full plate there.
Got Holly on that, man. Better look out.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Ain't nobody scared of no Haltech crap. Come on. Yep.
Oh, Troy.
Troy. Come on, Troy. I seen this next picture. I thought it's kind of funny. Just because it's old stuff and it's kind of neat. And I'm covering this up a little bit. But I think Lamar posted this. It was like from the date here. I had to chop this up so it would all fit. This is Houston Raceway Park. This is just for reference from way back. True 10.5 ETs from 20th of October, 2007.
Wow.
Number one qualifier was Eric Dillard, 479, 167. And this is 07.
That took a big block, looks like.
Yeah, 598. And this is 07. And the names in this, there's 32 cars plus there's 5 on the outside.
Dillard, Sabo,
Kenjo Kelly, Lamar, Roger Holder, Sabo,
David
Wolf. Yeah, Kyle Hutel. Eric
Justin
Stubbs, Curie. And look at the ETs. Low 5s and high 4s. True 10.5.
32 car field. Man, there's 37 trying to get in. That is freaking awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. A lot of big blocks.
I thought it was pretty neat. I seen that. I'm like, man,
that's cool.
That was
True 10.5. Yeah, that was a good time.
2007.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Golly.
That's the time I had my other my hatch. I was going 540s back then at 140.
Well, you would have qualified down there in the 31 range.
In the backside of it, been racing the top dogs.
Man.
Small block Pro Charger back then for me. F2.
Yeah, I thought this was cool to bring that up.
That is cool. Back in 07. Yeah.
Tulsa last night.
Yeah.
Tulsa had midnight drags, they call it, right?
Yep. Well, I don't know if it was a midnight. It was actually like a little shootout.
like a midnight no prep type of deal.
Right. Like
Something,
starting at 10, they got done at 6 in the morning or whatever it was. Sun coming up.
Yeah, 200-ish cars on the property to race tonight. It's going to be a late night, so grab a Red Bull from the concession stand and let's race.
Let's race, man.
That's
That
a
was
lot of
awesome.
cars.
Yeah. I saw some videos there. Was it Michael Narks, right?
Yeah.
And he was doing some videos, and saw Kaylee Mills was there. Jimmy Dale, I think, won a class. Apollo was there in the Corvette.
Yep.
So that's good.
Russ Freeman. Yep.
Russ Freeman. Yep. Yeah. Drag racing's alive. You know, let's put together a midnight.
Yeah.
It's awesome stuff.
Yep. Dang. Joseph Thomas from Garage Built.
Oh yeah, the Fairmont
racing. Yep. Yeah. He's the guy I ordered my turbo from that got
I was getting ready to say
discount.
Yeah. 15% off. God, wait.
Good price. Yeah.
Basically just gave it to you.
I should have bought 3 or 4.
I know.
Let's talk about John Force.
Okay.
Is this the second week or the third week? Is this the end of the second week, the second full week, or third?
I want to say the third.
Okay, that's even worse. So this says update on John Force, who is continuing to progress, but still faces a long road to recovery, according to the family. Full update in the comments. And this little paragraph below says John Force has been moved out of neuro-intensive care and into acute neuro care at the Virginia hospital, where he was transported after his crash. Force suffered a traumatic brain injury, among other injuries that included a fractured sternum and a right wrist injury.
Yeah.
There's been no video of him talking.
Thinking about that, I mean, like, so it was Sunday, and then the next week, right? I'm just thinking through this, and then did they not race? I think that's when Austin was wearing his helmet, and then it's been this week, right? Am I thinking that right?
Something like that.
So maybe it's just 2 weeks there, Gary.
But what do you think about this? Do you think he'll race again? Is this it?
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It just kind of depends on what's going on here, you know. And
I think he's done.
Okay.
Because he's 75. You know. Yep. You know, well, and the TBI stuff, like, I've heard Dale Earnhardt Jr. talk about his concussion stuff that's brain injury related, and that got him out of the car. You also hear, like, I listen to a military podcast with these guys. They get concussive brain injuries. I don't know how different that is from like a impact TBI, but it's pretty serious stuff. Like, as bad as his probably was, you know, the chance of him having injury from another impact is a pretty serious thing to think about, you know? So,
like Mrs. Harper says, it's been 21 days as of today. So yeah, 3 weeks.
21. Holy cow. Yeah. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think he's done.
Well,
because you get injured like that in your head and you get injured again after that, it's a pretty bad deal.
Okay.
I might be wrong. Remember, I'm wrong a lot.
Yeah, not my lane to speculate. So
yeah, it's a pretty serious deal.
Yeah, that's what Larry Hunt's commenting. They have been very quiet as far as releasing info. I'd say it's bad enough they're wanting the most privacy. So I agree with that.
Yep.
So.
Yep, that's right. Just hope he's doing well, you know.
You bet.
So yeah.
I did see at the last NHRA event when they had the big tarps up and everything, people going along signing hundreds of signatures, you know, thousands, get well and that sort of thing. So I thought that was a nice little thing to do. And like I said last week, Austin Proc, you know, the kid was wearing his helmet visor, which is cool, said John Force on it. And then of course Brittany set this one out. So we'll just see how it develops and and see how it goes. Scott Linker thinks he's going to race again. So
Yep, Scott says he will race again. We'll see.
We'll see. But he's definitely, determined. I mean, it's like we were talking about before too. And I just think he'll want to go out his way, where they do. It's just like Junior did, where he's like, okay, I'm retiring and then I'm going to do the tour so people can come, anybody that wants to see him the last time. And then, just like even if he retires from the driver's seat, he's not going to retire from racing or going to the track, being an owner, that sort of thing. So.
Just needs to keep his head away from the roll cage. Other NHRA news. Did you see this? What Freeman is doing? Yep. Richard Freeman confirms the rumors that Elite Motorsports is expanding to Top Fuel next year. He has reportedly ordered trailers and 2 cars from PBRC. Freeman also made it clear that he will wait for the proper funding to fall into place before bringing the program to realization. In the quotes, this says Erica Enders will be behind the wheel of a Top Fuel car and drive Pro Stock.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. And didn't they bring on another driver as well?
Yeah, a real young girl. Yes.
Yeah, I thought I saw that.
I forget her name, but yeah.
Yeah. Courtney interviewed Erica and the new young lady that so what is that? Seriously, like 7 over there, Pro Stock?
Man, I don't know.
Not for sure, but I know it's quite a bit, but that's good. And so, Tony over there too, Schumacher in Top Fuels made a big splash. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep. I only got one more dinky little thing before we bring on the Phillips. And I noticed this. Have you seen this at Kansas International Dragway?
Yeah, I saw that last week when you were showing the winter circles.
That I seen it without any car in front of it. That is the coolest winter circle backdrop I think I've ever seen.
Cool.
I've seen that. I'm completely digging that. And I just wanted to show that because I think it really, really looks cool.
Yeah.
Kansas International Dragway Winter Circle, Kansas Army National Guard. Man, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. So that's all we got there before we bring the Phillips family on. Larry Hunt said something. Larry said she can't just leave Pro Stock, can't pull the thorn out of Greg Anderson's side.
And then he retiring next year, Greg Anderson?
I don't know, Greg. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Do this. Well,
all right.
Are you ready for?
Got some people on standby.
Tony and Adam are on standby.
Right on.
Let's do this. Everybody, here is Tony and Adam Phillips. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey,
What's going on over there?
How are we doing tonight?
Good. Got you loud and clear.
Good deal.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on. I know you guys watch the show because we see comments left and right. And, just speaking for myself, we go to the racing and stuff. We see what I call the orange team over there. I didn't know your last name for a minute. You know what I mean? So, Gary and I and Mark Camp would talk about that, just looking at your cars and that. I think the first few times was at Tulsa. And then I don't think I've got to race Tony yet because when we end up lining up one time, I think Adam was in the driver's seat. So that was at Flying H. Yeah, good. So we did get to talk to you a little bit last month at Flying H and got to get to know you guys a little bit well. And we met who I call the CEO. I think his name's Goose. But
yeah, that's what he goes by as Goose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did that name come from for him, Goose? That's he used to be a dump trucker back in the day and hauled milk and stuff like that. So that was his handle. That was his trucker handle. Everybody knows him as Goose. And
his CB handle.
His first name is actually Stanley, which is the same as my brother-in-law. So
okay.
Yeah.
He's got many names. We all kind of go by many names, it seems like.
Yeah.
Well, Rodney, when he came over to our pit at Flying H, we thought he was the CEO.
That's what I thought.
He is. Dog. He is. He's the big dog. We'll call him that. Like I said, that's one of his names. You can CEO, big dog, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
That's what I'm talking about. You always got to have a CEO in the racing program.
That's right.
Yeah. Before we got on, he was talking about how he got started in truck pulls, it sounded like.
Yeah. He was a truck puller back in the day, 70s and 80s, pretty sure. Don't know the exact years, but.
Sure. But he said you guys went drag racing on him, so he jumped in with you.
Yep. Yeah, we raced a little bit before he came on board, but he's been on board for a long time now. So
yeah.
But Mark Tido says CFO.
Oh, financial officer. All right.
Financial officer.
Yeah, that's another good one. Banker, CF, whatever.
Yeah,
man.
there you go.
He says Goose is the CFO.
That's true.
I wish the comments was coming on YouTube. That bugs me, man. I'm gonna worry about that.
I'll check that out later.
Yeah.
Just having fun. I hope no one cares if I sell this. When the point Gary was talking about when he was over there kind of doing introductions, and because we didn't know anybody, what's your role over there? He pulled out a freaking stack. He goes,
yeah.
He goes, I'm the CEO. I was like, you got that right.
Yeah.
Well, we asked if we could be part of the team then, didn't we?
Absolutely. Do you
He's definitely sponsored some tires and stuff like that for racers over the years, I hear. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. Cool.
Super nice guy.
Coming on, and you sent in a lot of great photos. We'll talk to you about a little bit, and Tony or Adam, we were kind of joking. You said you were 21.
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah. Yep. Because Gary even asked you what year you graduated high school earlier. And so but now you talked us through that, made it through college, and now you're racing. We've seen your junior dragster days, and we'll make a little run here. But let's go ahead and kick this off here. And we want to start with Tony. Gary, do you think kind of his story first, right?
Yeah, I think we can kind of run with both a little bit. I think maybe
because I think the first few pictures are
early Tony.
Yeah, early Tony.
Yeah. Tony, we got this.
That was
what's going on here.
Well, that was my first truck. That was back when I was 17, probably. In that picture, that truck was a baby blue long bed. That was my very first truck when I was 16, and I had older buddies, so I ran around with my buddies who was 3 or 4 years older than me. So I was raised in Springfield, so we was racing on Kearney Street and stuff like that. And kind of funny story when that truck was a baby blue long bed, and my dad bought it for me, of course, when I was like 15 or so. So he drove it to work for a while as his work rig before I turned 16. Well, so all of his work buddies knew it. And so I was my first weekend driving, 16, didn't even have a hard copy license, had the old paper license. And of course, went out street racing, and then all Dad's work buddies went up and told him how good I was doing street racing. And he came back home and said, that's not going to happen no more. So after that, I had to make the truck look different, so nobody knew it was me anymore. So
that's a great story.
Yeah,
that's a great story. Is that just your buddy there in the little?
Yeah, that was one of my old running buddies. That his name's David Mitchum. He don't race anymore. He's not 100% what he does these days. To be honest with you, I graduated with him. We graduated in '94 down there in Reed Spring, and he was one of my. I had 2 pretty good running buddies back in them days, and he was one of them.
So what year did you graduate? Say that again.
94. I graduated in 94.
Man.
So I'm 48. If you're trying to do some math, I'll make it easy on you.
There you go.
All right. Devin Brown says, Tony Phillips, what's up, ugly?
Hey, that's not very nice. I got stories on him coming up. I think he's in one of the pictures coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
Show all of them. So
sure.
Young Devin Brown. The young.
Gotta have some dirt. You got to have some
dirt.
Well,
if it's young Devin Brown, it's only 6 months ago. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah, just the other day. He was just a young pup when we had him on the show back in, November, October?
Yeah.
Yep. Here's this Camaro that come along.
So that's when we first got into drag racing. When I first met my wife, I didn't put any of them pictures in there. I was stock car racing. A buddy of mine, he raced late model stocks called Sportsman's up at Lebanon when it was asphalt. And so when I met my wife, I was doing that. My wife's side of the family was drag racing. And anyway, when my buddy quit circle track racing, then my brother-in-law Stanley, that's him standing there. That's young Stanley. For those of you that can't recognize him, I'll pick on him some. Without his big belly he's got now, that's little skinny Stanley in that picture. We used to trade places driving back in them days. One race I'd drive and one race he'd drive. And anyway,
Cool.
he purchased that car as just a roller basically. And then me and him and his cousins got me into drag racing. Jim Powers, some people might remember Jim Powers and James Butler back in the day. They was a pair of brother-in-laws, and that's Stanley's cousins basically. They kind of got us all together. We built that car kind of in the garage at Jim's house. He's the one that kind of taught me how to bend tubing for the first time and all that good stuff. So anyway, that was when we took it to the race the first time. Small block Chevy, nitrous, double humps and dominators. We got made fun of a lot, but anyway.
What year is this with this Camaro here? What year is this?
The year was 02 by our notes. We think we debuted that thing in 02 like that.
Right on. Got a question here.
Is that Mark Cicino's hood?
It was a big old tall hood. I think that was a 7-inch cowl hood back then. It was huge.
Yeah.
And it didn't need it. It just had a little small block in it with a carburetor on it.
Better line up in the right lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pay attention. You run over somebody pretty quick in the pits.
Yeah.
That's a Drag Week insider poke on Mark Cicino. His Grand Prix it used to have a real giant hood like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny.
So where are you at right here?
That's Ozark. We raced Ozark with that car pretty extensively back in the day. We didn't travel much back then, but we did Ozark, Mocan. I don't know if we ever went Tulsa when that stage. When it was painted silver, we hit Tulsa a few times. But when we first started, we pretty much only raced Ozark.
Okay. Now, Zach West asks if this happened to be the same third gen that you guys have now.
Yes, sir. Yep, that story's coming up, I think, in a couple pictures. That was me and Stanley's very first car, and now that one is currently Adam's car that we got back through the ranks.
Cool.
Mark says Matt Madsen is the king of tall cowl hoods. His was 11 inches.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Cool. Next picture, same car.
That's kind of more the same. That was early drag radial days. That was a BF Goodrich drag radial days back then.
Yeah.
You couldn't have, supposedly, you couldn't have altered wheel tubs or none of that stuff back then. I forget all the rules, but there was a bunch of them compared to what we can do to them now. So
right.
What size of radial is that on the back?
We had a 315 on that. Okay. And I'm not going to say the fender well was stock like it was supposed to, but it was stock appearing anyway.
All right. Appearing.
Yeah. It passed tech. That's all I know. Yeah. So
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was after we got it painted.
Painted.
Like I said, the Powers family, they painted back then for us. Now we got a different person that does our body work. There's two things we farm out in our cars: paint jobs and transmissions. So we do everything else but paint jobs and transmissions. So anyway, that was I think Robbie Powers, one of the other cousins, I think he actually squirted the paint on that, but James Butler got it all ready for us. And anyway, that was when it had silver with maroon stripes, and it was like that till the day we sold it.
Rocking the Combo Pros.
Yeah, Combo Pros.
Hey, combos are super lights there. Nice.
There's me and Stanley again. I don't know what year that was, but like I said, that's kind of the way we used to take it all the time.
Heck yeah.
Back in the day. That was our small block days. We was always nitrous cars until just real recently. And we was small block nitrous cars until Goose came on board anyway.
Right on. What kind of times were you turning back then?
Hold on. Hey, Stanley Ray, what kind of times was we running back in the day? You remember?
What?
We had the record at one time. I remember.
We ran a 529 with a big block.
529 with a big block, he said, but this was pre-big block days, I think, in this picture. We still had a big block in it when it was silver, but these early pictures was when we had a small block in it. And I forget what I was thinking 570s or 580s. We ran and that was a record back in the day, if you believe that or not, at Ozark Raceway.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have it very long. We got knocked off the pedestal pretty quick. But we didn't have we was maroon and silver back then, so all of our shirts were either maroon or silver. We didn't even have a T&S logo back then, so that was pre-T&S, but we was still me and Stanley anyway.
Cool.
So is T&S a hobby, or is that what you do for your
No,
job?
T&S is a hobby. I used to work on some cars there in the shop, but
Okay.
But since we got all the junior dragsters involved and all that stuff, my side work, I call it, is pretty non-existent anymore. Kind of side work. I used to do some roll cages in some old cars, and they're not around anymore as far as for customers. And I've wired a few cars over the years and stuff like that. But no, T&S is more or less just us. I do the occasional side work, but very, very little anymore.
Okay.
And the S2 is the 2 Stanleys.
Yeah,
right?
so if you didn't know, the T&S race cars, T is, of course, for Tony. That one's the easy one. But the S squared is Goose's real name is Stanley. So there's one S. And then my brother-in-law is also Stanley. So there's the S squared. If nobody knew where that came from, it's Tony and 2 Stanleys for T&S race cars.
Okay.
Right on. And the 2 Stanleys is your
Stanley,
wife's-
yep. So the one we call
dad?
Goose, or one everybody knows as Goose or CEO, or that's his name, Stanley. That's my father-in-law. And then little Stanley, we call him, or Stanley Ray sometimes. That's my brother-in-law. So I married Stanley's sister, and Goose is both of their dads. So
Right.
Got it. Right on. Okay.
There you go.
little
All
confusion.
right.
We've been back in the day. I think I got called Stanley more than I got called Tony, and so did my brother-in-law. We answered to Tony or Stanley back in the day. Everybody got us mixed up
Right.
because we'd switch driving all the time. One time he'd drive,
Well,
one time
there
we'd drive, and it was confusing. So
Yeah.
That'll do it. Need some name tags.
That's it. What year do you think this picture was?
I'm gonna say somewhere around 04, 05. There was a time we quit, so we got out of it. I was lucky enough at one time to have 2 father-in-laws. Some guys complained about their father-in-laws, but I had 2 pretty good ones back in the day. And in 06, there was a tornado that came through Marionville and kind of wiped it out. And one of my father-in-laws got killed then in that tornado. So we kind of took some time off around that time. And anyway, it just took us a few years to kind of get back in it. When we got back in it after the tornado, that's when Goose came on board and kind of got us back into it. When the tornado came through, we kept the car, sold the old motor and transmission and all of our parts, but kept the car. We pushed it out in the fence road, kind of like Tito and his wagon. We kind of just pushed it outside and let it rain and snow and everything else on it. And then anyway, some other stuff happened, and Stanley and Goose wanted to get back into racing, and I was a little hesitant. And I was like, I don't know. Well, no, they wanted to go mud trucking, I think, first. They said, hey, will you build us a mud truck motor? And I went, yeah, I'll build your motor, but I ain't going mud trucking. I ain't get playing in the dirt. I don't like that stuff. So then they go, let's go drag racing. And I was like, I don't know, if we don't do that again. Well, anyway, they got me to go to a drag race. And they always say alcoholics shouldn't go to a bar. Well, a drag racer shouldn't go to a drag race if he's not racing. So that's all it took, and we was back in it. And
there you go.
my father-in-law likes telling a story that when he first got involved, he was just kind of be there to help. He didn't come all the time, but he came a bunch. And we small block racing because that's all the parts we had. We still had some parts, and he called them rubber band engines, basically. He goes, you don't want to build one of them. And so I kind of had some inside information on that story. So he said, if you're going to build one of them rubber bands, you need to build a big block. And we kind of said, well, pony up, get your pocketbook out there. Like you said, he wanted to show you. So
Yeah.
anyway, I knew where a block was sitting. The machine shop I used back then, it was Mother's Machine, a little local machine shop still open. And anyway, he had a block that I knew that was for sale. And so anyway, the next day we had a big block Chevy sitting in the shop. He says I set him up on that, and I might have just a little bit.
Nice.
Big block.
So after that, I don't know what year I don't have that note wrote down of when we started back with it was in that car though. It was the silver car, and we went big block nitrous for a long time. And I'm not 100% what year that was when we all kind of teamed up and the T&S crew started its foundation there with Goose, Stanley, and me.
Right on.
Awesome. Well, the next
My father-in-law is about 45 seconds behind us over there in the living room. He's just now laughing over there at something. So
Okay.
So if anybody's watching, Stanley and Goose is in the house. They're
In the
in
house.
front of the camera if anytime somebody wants to see them.
There you go.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
The next picture includes
Oh, there's Adam right there. That was so. This is kind of the cool story that Zach West brought up. So that's Adam sitting in my lap in that car that now is currently the 3rd gen orange car that he was racing. That now we of course have cut up on the chassis table. We're making big changes to that one, but anyway, that was him sitting on my lap in the same car that he now owns. And we actually came back. So we sold that car to a guy named Eric Perry, raced it for a year with him after he bought it from us. He was a rather large individual, I'll put it that way. And he couldn't fit in it. So he raced it, or had us race it for about a year while we was building the 4th gen car, which I think it was black when we debuted it. I think we got some pictures of it coming. But anyway, that's him sitting in my lap. And then I forget what year it was. I got it in my notes. I'd have to look of when we actually bought the car back. I think we got some more pictures of that coming up. But anyway, when we bought that car back, it'd been to Tito's and had a lot of work done on it. That's an old mild steel cage right there that we put in it, and it was old and outdated. And we was going to cut it out and make a chrome moly cage and all that. Then my father-in-law, again, the CEO, wanted a 4th gen Camaro. There was a guy, Stanley, what was his name, with that red 4th gen that was so pretty? And Goose said, I want a car like that. Was it? It's from Sykeston. Yeah, the red one. I don't remember his name.
Johnny Bray?
No.
Here's some Bowling Green.
Goose says he was a well driller. It is a really pretty red 4th gen Camaro. And he goes, I want to build one of them. And I go, okay. So we found the car in a junkyard, drug it out of a junkyard and built a 4th gen and ended up selling that one. So but anyway, when we got it back, it was extremely updated from Tito, and it needed it because it was like I said, from 02 until the time we got it back. That was a lot of years. So
Tito's saying Chad.
Chad. Yeah. What was his last name, Mark? Is Chad crap. Anyway, he knows who I'm talking about.
Mark will tell us. Give him a second. Yeah. he'll tell us. Nate Bell says Lloyd
Moreland's. I don't think it was Lloyd's. It was a car like Lloyd's, but it was before Lloyd. Lloyd's car looks just like this one. But it wasn't Lloyd's, but he had a pretty red one also. You're right.
Good stuff.
Great.
Daniel Ferris dated his daughter. That's been a long time.
That's a long time ago. I may not say that. My brother-in-law saying Daniel Ferris dated this guy's daughter, but I don't know. That was a long time ago. I don't know if I should put that out there or not. Anyway, Stanley raised my memory. He's my go-to on dates and times, and when somebody comes over to the pits, I'm terrible with names, and they'll come over and say, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And when he leaves, I'll look at Stanley and go, "Who was that? What's that guy?"
That sounds like me.
Oh man. Here's another
Adam
picture
again
of
in that same car. Like I said, that's a few years older, of course, than when that last picture. We had that car for a while, so that was Adam riding around in the pits with me. We had 2 seats in it back then.
Yeah. At this point, you were running the big block?
This part, yeah, it would have probably had the big block in it then. We was actually racing it when it's funny. I got another story I could tell, I guess. But when we was building that car, me and Stanley was out in the shop. I don't know. Some things I remember, some things I can't. But me and Stanley and his cousin Robbie was actually building a fuel cell mount for this car before we debuted it, or before we ever went racing. And my wife walks out in the shop and says, "Hey, you need to come in. We need to talk." And just her whole demeanor, we was like, "Oh shit," you know. But anyway, we all looked at each other, and she took me inside and said she was pregnant with Adam. So anyway, yeah, so that was so we was actually currently not really, but we was at the racetrack. I don't think she put any of those pictures in. Like I said, she was in charge of pictures, but there were some old pictures of my wife pregnant with Adam when we went to the racetrack first year. Anyway,
Good
stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Here's Adam with a junior.
So this was Adam's very first time racing a junior. That car, we actually got the car from Jason Brown. We raced with the Browns for a while, and some more pictures coming up here. Jason had his first small tire car was a green 93 Camaro, and he raced it in True 10.5. And we kind of put that car together for him back in the day, and I guess I did enough work for him on that because I got to drive it. So I was driving that one. Jason was driving a Studebaker and Super Pro, and his boy Devin was driving juniors, but not this one. This was Devin's actually very first junior, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I know it was Adam's very first junior, and we got it from the Browns. Jason ended up giving me that car basically for all the work I did on his green car for him. That was his very first shootout car. So. And the very first time there, I mean, that thing was dog slow. I went to Harbor Freight, got one of those little 6.5 horse gas motors and put on it. And I think he was running 16 or 17 seconds. And anyway, his first time out, he ended up actually winning his very first race. And I think it's because everybody had to wait on him. Hell, he had to wait 16, 17 seconds. He's running 790 cars. And hell, he's almost to the finish line before they got to leave. But,
That's awesome.
little turd wins in just about every car he's in. So
Devin Brown says you're correct. Whatever
Yeah.
information you got there, you're correct.
Yeah. I think that must have been his first car. I think that's what I said. So, yeah, that was Devin's first junior.
Nice.
Oh, man, that's cool.
It had a big
Johnson
wing on
had
it.
already on there.
Yeah, you can see the wing there. There he is. And
Yeah.
I hated that damn wing. We couldn't load it with that wing on there, but he had to have it on there. God, I hated that wing.
How old is he in this picture?
So he was supposed to, back then you had to be 8 to be able to race. And it was him and my nephew. It had been Stanley's boy, Zach. They both started racing when they was 7. And that took some convincing for him. You know how kids are. They never want to, say that they're not what age they are. We kept telling him, hey, you got to be 7 or you got to tell everybody you're 8 or you're not going to be able to race. So he was 7 when we put him in the
teach
car.
me never to lie, Daddy.
I tell him not to lie, but hey, just this once, one of them things. So,
All right.
yeah, he was 7 in that picture.
Right on.
Chris Wilson says the Phillips family are great people and racers.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
There you go. A little shout out.
Yep.
So, hold on a second. Adam, go back here. What'd you think right here? Big winner and everything coming in here. Did you have a good time?
I did. I was nervous. I didn't know anybody. Tyler Slavens tells the story that I beat him at my first race, and at the other end of the track, I just sat in the car with my helmet on, didn't talk to him, didn't get out, and I was just nervous and shy and didn't know what to do.
Sure.
Yeah, back when we first started, Tyler Slavin was driving a junior. Devin was in a junior. Who else was some of them big ringers back then? There was some stiff competition that's now, of course, a lot older.
James Foreman.
Kaylee Mills.
Yes, Kaylee Mills, Jake Mason, all them. We traveled around and raced against Jake some. But yeah, Kaylee was in a junior that we ran across quite a bit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So there was a good one. That was in Dev. So that was with Jason. And there's young Devin. That's where I said we'd see young Devin. So there's Devin in there.
Oh, okay. Second from the right.
Adam ever won. What's that? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Second from the right.
Yeah, the second one from the right is Devin there. If nobody can recognize him there, that's Devin
with that
Brown.
Beard.
Yeah.
He had no beard. That's back when he didn't have no beard. But that was when we was racing Jason's car. I think we threw some 8.5s on it. They threw up an 8.5 race, and I'm pretty sure by the look of that back end, that's got the 8.5 on it. And when I was driving it for him, and we won in 8.5, and Adam won. That was our first duo winner circle. You can see my daughter there in front of me. If you've seen her lately, she's now 18. So that's my daughter there in front of me. Of course, my wife to the left of me. Anyway, that was the first father-son win there that we had.
That is awesome.
Larry Hunt says, years ago, I would go to the T&S pits and ask Adam, Lucy, and Hannah who was going to win today. They would all raise their hands.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to win.
We used to take 4 juniors in the big car when we first started.
That's a lot of wrenching, a lot of racing.
Yeah, we was busy, especially on them early cars, man. We bought junk back then. We didn't know what to buy. So we was working on juniors every pass because we bought the cheapest crap you could find. And anyway, that's not what they had, of course, when the time we was done. But when we started, we had junk.
Oh yeah. Well, so that already finding the winner's circle with junk, that's pretty good.
With and I noticed the T&S race car sticker on the side. You told us a little bit about that. When did that start?
I don't remember. Like I said, when Goose came on board is when we came up with the T&S. Because when me and Stanley started, we just had T&S race cars, but we didn't have shirts made, didn't have nothing, didn't even have stickers. That was just kind of a thing we called it. So when Goose came on board, we added the squared basically. So I'm not 100% what year that was. I don't know if that picture. I don't think that picture has a date on it. I know my mom has it hanging down in her basement. I don't know if she had a date on it or not, but looking through my wife's notes here, my wife made me some notes, but. It says Adam's first race was in 2010, and we didn't have that paint job on there for more than a year.
Okay.
So I would say that was 2010 if I was guessing, or maybe 11. I don't remember.
Wow.
So does the Chance family own the track at this time?
Well, I don't know that. Stanley, do you know if the Chances owned it in 2010? I don't think he did.
Not
I
yet.
remember when we first started, Phil Scott owned the track back when we very first started. Because we got kicked out one time. Phil told us to make our shit quit leaking or we's done. And we couldn't make it quit leaking. So we had to load it up back in the old Phil Scott days. But I don't know if Chances owned it then or not. I really don't
That's
know.
fine. That's fine. Hey, Gary, you see title response there? Looks
Yeah.
like
Yeah, Tito says Chad Moore had the red Camaro and still has it from what Jackie Farmer just told me.
Well, that's cool. That was the motivation behind our 4th gen car was his right there.
Oh, that's cool. Larry Hunt says 2009
is when the Chances took over. So that must have been, they must have had it then, because my note says 2010 on that win. So
there you go.
And Chris Penny is gonna snatch this picture just so he can pick on Devin.
I can get him a copy if he wants it. I got some.
Oh man.
Maybe we can get Devin to autograph it. There you go.
Oh, that's great. Oh man. A big change in the next picture.
Let's
Here's
see
a
what
black
we got.
Camaro.
Yeah, so there's the 4th gen car. That's when we debuted it. It was black. Of course, it was black when we drug it out of the salvage yard. Local salvage yard had it. They did all the hard work for us. They took the engine, the transmission, all the driveline was out. It was a full body, full interior, just sitting in the mud.
Wow.
And we went and drug it out. And anyway, put a cage in it and all this stuff and left it torque armed for a long time. So, yeah, that was, let's see, the black car. It says 2011 by my wife's cheat sheet over here. So,
Radio
2011,
Revenge
we built the black car there.
Yeah, Radio Revenge, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
Big block nitrous, I'm assuming.
Big block nitrous, yeah. Goose was involved, no small blocks and rubber band stuff. So
Yeah.
That looks like him standing back there above the
yeah,
roof
you can
line.
see him back there behind the car. He didn't miss hardly any races. So back when we first started, he was still going to NASCAR races. He would go to Kansas City. That's about the only races he missed. And then it didn't take him long to quit going to them and start going to all the drag races.
So with the 4th gen, Tony, are you just driving it, or did Stanley also drive it?
Yeah, we was noticing when in the 3rd gen that I didn't do his job very well on the racetrack, which he's awesome at it, and I think everybody will agree to that. He's awesome on trying to find the groove and knowing what a track can take. He's pretty damn good at his job, and I wasn't very good at it back then. And then it seemed like the car always did something stupid when he was driving it, so he made the decision. I don't really know. We never really talked about it much. He just said, why don't you just keep driving it? And that's the way it happened. So yeah, I drove the car. The 4th gen, Stanley drove it a couple times when it was black. There was one time, I don't know if I put that picture in here, but we tried a Pro Charger back in the day, around 2010-ish. We put a blow-through carbureted, I don't even know what size Pro Charger on it.
Yeah.
And I was driving Jason's car because I was in the green car and Stanley was in this one. Jason's car was a True 10.5 car that I was driving, and then this one was in drag radial back when they had 2 different classes. And so anyway, he was supposed to take it to the 330 cone, and I don't know what happened, but miscommunication. He drove it out the back end, and I still got the head gasket wadded up in a ball on the wall from that race. And so we didn't know what the hell he's doing with a blow through carburetor or boost. And then back then, I don't know if you guys remember Odie or not. He kind of ran a race series. He had a $10,000 to win small tire drag radial race, but you couldn't have blowers. You had to run nitrous. And so since we heard it tore it apart anyway, we put all of our nitrous stuff back on there and tried to race it at that 10,000 win race. And then we never looked back until recently. I think it was 2023. We put the Pro Charger on the orange car. But anyway, so we did try Pro Charger back in the day, but we gave it one attempt and then we aborted pretty quick. We found out we didn't know near enough about that. We was hurting way too much stuff.
Went back to what you know. Hey, speaking of old series and stuff, did you ever race like Mako or Jeff?
Yeah, we raced Mako when it was very first. I don't know if I'm sure everybody will remember, but they used to have 2 classes in Mako. They had like Real Street and True Street or something like that. But his first year or two, he had 2 small tire classes. And that was when we still racing the 3rd gen car. And Jim Powers and James Butler had a white 69 Camaro. Those were that was the other guys that kind of got us into drag racing. And I was in one. We had the 3rd gen in one class in Mako, and then he ran the other class. in Mako. So yeah, we ran Mako extensively back in the day.
Right on. Did you ever
Yeah.
race
Mako was
Clash of the
awesome.
Titans with Freddie?
Say what now?
Did you ever race Clash of the Titans with Freddie? It's kind of a Texas
I don't
series.
think so.
Did we ever race Clash of the Titans with Freddie? I don't think we did.
No, we
Did we?
never went down there.
No, we never went down there.
Right on.
Stanley, my memory says no. So
Another great series back then.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know why we didn't want to see over the hood, but that was back when we didn't want to see over the hood either.
And you're in the left lane even.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see the tree barely. You could see the top of Yellow Bulb, and that's all you need. So
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, they don't have iPads back then. Like,
yeah, I seen that. That was crazy. Launching
that's
by an iPad. That was nuts.
Yep. Do that, and I want to be in the lane next to you. 'Cause you're gonna be late.
Adam says there's got to be delay in that. You know, that's what he
There
said.
has
We
to
gotta
be,
delay.
absolutely. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
oh,
Yep.
good.
Here's a bunch of juniors.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
so that's so my niece and my nephew, they don't race with us anymore, but that's them. They're on the far left. So that's Zach, my nephew, and his sister Lucy, and then my daughter Hannah, and then Adam. So that was our 4 juniors when we used to take them and the big car. We raced back then. We used to go to a lot more of the bracket races with them and leave my car at home, and then the shootouts we'd take all of them. So
Right on. Is that the famous Spider-Man Junior?
that Spider-Man car, Spaniac bought that from
Spaniac?
us. So
Yep.
back in the day, we bought it from the Beelers. I don't know if you remember when Shannon Beeler had that little yellow pickup with the Hulk on it in small tire.
Yeah.
That's another story. When I was racing True 10.5 and Jason's, my dad would always say, "You ever going to beat that little S10 truck, Beeler?" He beat me every time he went. He had the
Yeah.
Hulk all airbrushed on the back of it, and then his boy had this Spider-Man car. I think both of them may have drove it. I don't remember if both the boys, Steven and Bryce, both drove it. But I know Bryce was driving it, and he got too big. He outgrew it, basically. He got too long, and it was for sale at one race, and I went up, and we made that purchase. And then that pink car, that was Adam's other car. We just painted it pink with the maroon, with the flames on it. That car that Adam had from Devin. So that's still Devin's old car there when Hannah had it, when we painted it pink. She's always
Travis-
had Adam's hand-me-downs, and she never did complain about it. But by then, Adam said she had a pretty good leg up. We had all the kinks worked out of them by the time
That's
she got
exactly
it.
right.
Travis Kurtz says it's in my garage now. It's made its rounds.
That pink car's in their garage.
No, Spider-Man.
Oh, the Spider-Man car.
Yeah.
I knew it went local. I forgot who he said bought it, but yeah, that Spider-Man's still a local car. So
Keeps it in the
funny.
community.
It's funny. I was putting these pictures together, and I remember Spaniac telling us about the Spider-Man car, and then
Yep.
putting your pictures together. I was like, "Hey, that's the Spider-Man car that Spaniac was talking about."
yeah, so Spaniac bought the Spider-Man car from us, and then when we was done with Katie's car that she has now, that purple one, that was ours also. So Spaniac's bought my last 2 cars that we got rid of them. So anyway, at least they're staying local. I like it.
Heck yeah.
So how old is Adam here? And that's your daughter Hannah in the pink car.
Yep, the one
How
right
long
next to him's Hannah. Let's see
How
if
long
she's
has
got
she
any
been
notes.
racing?
My notes over here says 2013. Hannah and Lucy started racing in 2013, so it would have been somewhere in that range. So how
Okay.
old was you in 13, bro? Do the math.
11 years.
11, 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Adam, how many juniors did you end up having through your career?
I had the 3. I had that pink one, and then the Spider-Man car, and then the one that Katie Spaniac drives now.
So, follow-up question, which one was your favorite?
The purple and yellow one that Katie drives now.
Okay.
That thing drove like a Cadillac compared to the other 2.
Mm.
There you go.
The first pass I made in the Spider-Man car, when I put the big motor on it, it went 760, and like 500 feet, the steering wheel shook so hard I almost couldn't hold on to it.
Uh-oh.
And then the purple and yellow car just drove so much smoother than that car did.
That purple and yellow car is a suspension car, so it had a shock and everything else on it. It was a pretty nice car.
So
Very nice.
how did Hannah get thrown into all this?
She just kind of, she was, like I said, the kids was born and raised at the racetrack, and she just, I don't even remember ever asking her. She just kind of got in it and started driving it. I didn't when she turned 7, like Adam did, it was her turn to get in it. We just
Go
got
drive
the car
that.
ready.
Go.
Yeah. So the car was ready when she got 7, and she just knew it was her turn, I guess. And she crawled in them. And anyway, she did really good there at her last few years. She was pretty tough to beat in that purple car.
Hey, one more chance for the Phillips get to the winner's circle there.
Yeah. Yeah. The kids always had a lot better chance than I did. I'll say that. Everybody will probably chime in that the kids definitely have more wins than I do. That's for certain.
Sure.
There's another win. Looks like
So that was cool. That was down at Tulsa. We didn't even know it when we went up there. Mills was sponsoring that race. We found out. We didn't even know we was racing for that. I think we won like $850 or something crazy back then. We thought we was racing for $100. And anyway, we took that money, and that's when Adam said he got his big motor. After this race, we could afford his big motor then. And we put that winnings and took that motor off and put the 790 stuff on there that went way too fast. It went like 760s when we first put it on there.
That's awesome.
This is
that was a race at Tulsa that was pretty cool.
May 11th of 2013.
Yep.
There you go.
Awesome.
So, Tony, I don't follow juniors that much. Is it a bracket race or is it an index race?
Yeah, they're always bracket. The only place that we'd go that split them up by age was Mocan. Mocan used to have 2 classes for like the younger kids and the older kids. But yeah, it is bracket racing. Fast you could go with 790 just about everywhere we went. And you were supposed to be a certain age to do that. Some tracks listen to that, some tracks don't. So
Sure.
Anyway.
Very cool.
That car looks really cool. I mean, the Spider-Man on the side, it looks really cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. And that was paint too. I forget who painted it, but somebody the Bealers knew. I don't know if they airbrushed it or what, but anyway, I know it was all done there halfway local. It was somebody on Bealer's team or somebody he knew. It may even been Beeler. I don't know. But anyway, that was paint. That wasn't a wrap. It was pretty. Still is pretty.
The helmet's painted up too.
Helmet was painted up too. Of course, it would be way out of date. It was out of date when we used it, but it sure was cool looking.
Yeah.
We sold that with Spaniak. I don't know if he gave it on to Travis in the sale or not. I may be ratting him out, but Spaniak had it. Travis, go get it from me.
The black Camaro doesn't look like it's real happy here.
I wrecked one time in my experience, thank goodness, and it was a light one. But that one there was when we wrecked it. It was at Ozark. I drove. It was pretty sure it was in the final, but it was later in rounds. Who was I racing? You remember?
Jason Horde.
We was racing Jason Horde.
Okay.
I was in the left lane, and the front end was up in the air, and it was going to the center, and we side by side. And of course, I did what all of us do sometimes. I drove it too far. Didn't let off till I was on the center line, and then I had it turned to the left too much, and it went into the wall, kissed the wall, and hurt the quarter panel and stuff up there. But amazingly enough, the next week we was back at Mocan at their small tire race, so it wasn't hurt that bad. We had a buddy, like I said, Kerry Wrinkle does all of our paint and body stuff for us. We had it at the frame shop, and they pulled what was left of that stock frame rail back around, and it was funny because we even had to pull the headers back around. We used the frame machine to pull the headers back around.
And it's on a slick too, I see.
Yeah, we bounced back and forth from a lot of tires back in the day. We'd have a 28 on it and a 29 radial, and then we'd have a 29 slick on it. We was stupid. We switched tires. If they had a different race with a different tire rule, we'd throw it on there and go racing.
There you go.
Well, what car did Jason Horde have back then? Was it?
Remember what Horde was driving that year, Stanley?
The green Buick?
Stanley thinks it was a little Regal.
Regal. The green Regal?
He said it was a little blue car. He thinks it was a Regal. Somebody will chime in. They'll remember.
Yep, that's it. Okay.
Stanley says Tito will remember.
Yep.
There you
go. All right.
That was the one and only time I hit the wall. And I guess I won't no more. I got retired. I got put out to pasture with the son here. So
yeah, we'll talk about that a little later on.
So when you fixed this, did it require a color change?
No, but it wasn't long after that. This was 2015. I don't know if she wrote down when I wrecked it.
Yeah, Mark says
right now when we wrecked it. But
2015
is when it went orange. We debuted it down in Denton, Texas. We drug it down there. Nobody had seen it yet. It was funny because we was racing pretty hard with the Bealers back then, and they was sitting there waiting on us. And I couldn't unload it yet because Stanley and Goose was in the RV. Don't know if you ever been to Denton or not, but that racetrack was kind of hard. It's like a maze trying to get into it.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't get into it. And so I couldn't unload the car until they got there because it was all orange and we was pitting right next to Beeler. So I was trying to hide it the best I could until the rest of the team got there to debut it in orange.
Right on.
Back in my stock car days is when I got hooked on orange. My buddy Chris knew he loved orange, and everything we had in stock car was orange. And Stanley Ray knew that orange was one of my favorites. And so when we was going to change colors, he said, let's paint it orange. And he didn't even have to mention it. And I was like, hell yes, let's go orange.
Right on.
That was going to be one of my questions.
It was a blue Regal. I don't know if you caught that, Adam, when you were going, or Tony, when you were going through stuff.
Yep.
What's Craven saying, Gary?
Craven said the guy on the left is a really good driver.
Guy on the left. In that picture?
Is that from this picture?
That's Stanley, isn't it? That was Stanley.
Stanley.
It depends on how you look at it. On the left is either me or I don't know how he's looking at that. Neither one of us are very damn good, so he's wrong. The good driver's in the car now. I'll say that.
Oh, man. Well, it looks cool orange. This looks like Denton also.
That was probably still down in Denton. We went down there and, like I said, debuting in orange. We had a little bit wrong converter in it. It wasn't even dropping any on the shift. And we kept going faster. We kept putting the timing in it, putting timing in it. Finally found out what timing the Pistons didn't like anymore, and we melted it down that race.
Oh, no.
Back it off.
You couldn't even hear it. But yeah, that was probably still down in Denton when we debuted at orange.
Oh, okay. This is all real clear now.
Go back one.
Okay, Craven said that guy on the left is a really good driver. We was looking too deep into this. In the live picture, being you're live right now, and we talking about Adam.
This guy, yeah, he's right about that. That's yeah, he's the driver. That's for
talking
certain.
About yeah. Also
AKA
known as
the assassin.
Adam the Assassin Phillips.
Yeah. He's pretty good at what he does. I'll say that.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, he's been doing it for a minute.
Huh?
He's been doing it for a minute. You know, he talked about kids and these juniors, just like Brandon.
He's made a few laps down the racetrack. That's for certain.
Yep.
That's right. Here's some more juniors again.
Yep.
There we go. Team Orange.
And some orange.
So Zach wanted to paint his car. Well, we bought that car. That was an old Kaylee Mills car that Zach was driving there in the orange and black. And he wanted it to look a little bit more like the team. So we was painting it. So Wrinkle, of course, did our painting. And he made it black and orange to try to look more like a T&S car. The other cars had two nice paint jobs on them just to take them down, just to make them black and orange. So he's like, no, we're not doing that one. So that one now, Tyler Enders bought that car, and I don't know if it's the one they're currently still racing juniors, but it stayed around here local for a little while. I'm pretty sure it's in the Spaniak Enders camp still, that one of them guys is driving. It's not black and orange anymore. They painted it real pretty maroon, I think.
So is that Adam on the second from the right?
Yep, that's Adam and his. So we bought that car from some people that raced Mocan real extensively. Remember their name? Capras. The Capras. We bought that car turnkey from them, and they was really good. They had Lee Markham was involved in that program, so it was a tack driver when we first bought it. It was a really nice car, and it still is a nice car. But yeah, that was Adams. The deal to get that one going was that he had to get the Spider-Man car ready for his sister before he could ever race that one, and I think it took him 2 days to convert that Spider-Man car over for his sister. So
that was my next question. Is that Hannah in the Spider-Man car?
Yep.
On the left.
Yep, that's Hannah in the Spider-Man, and then Lucy in the black and blue little car there. That car went way up north. I think it got sold way off. That would have been Zachary's very first junior. The girls, that's all they always got the boys as hand-me-downs, but they never did complain. Like I said.
This is Ozark. Adam.
Yep, so that's an Ozark win there.
That's when I won my first Ironman.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's the Ironman trophy. Yep. Let's see, she has that wrote down somewhere. What year was that? 2016.
Okay.
Dang.
She wrote down on there, too, give me a little bit of credit that we won points championship in whatever car I was driving that year. So I could win sometimes, just not very often.
2016 doesn't seem like that long ago, but
It doesn't. You're right.
Golly.
8
Damn.
years now. So
gee whiz. More orange Camaro.
yeah.
Heads up,
Back when,
hootenanny.
back when we was a torque arm car, we used to stand it up like that quite often, unfortunately. So we would either go really fast or put it up on the bumper like that. So
Yeah.
or fast for back then. You can see the orange. There's our ocean of orange back there in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Team Phillips.
That says Gateway on there. Premier Streetcar Association. Heads up, hootenanny.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's very cool.
Here's a bunch of you.
Yeah, so
The
there's
trailer?
Stanley and his boy Zach, and then me and Adam, of course. And can't really tell what that was. It almost looks like St. Louis, but I can't really tell.
So Stanley's boy Zach, what does he race now? What does he do?
He doesn't race anymore. When he graduated high school, he went in the Air Force. So he went into the Air Force for a few years. And so now he's back. Got him a family, got a wife and a little girl, and
Nice.
they haven't quite got back into racing yet. We keep trying to get him coaxed into it. They still got his car. It's probably coming up here in a little bit. Like I said, Adam's driven just about everything we own. So you'll see a Chevelle coming up here in a minute, I think. And that is currently still Zach's car. And I think I heard Stanley and Adam talking that they're going to bring that car back out for some no prep race that he's talked Adam into driving the old Chevelle in an index race. So Adam gets to see if he remembers how to drive the stripe again.
You just send Zach an orange shirt in the mail.
Yeah,
That'll
he was
seal
always
it up.
wanting to be different. He always had to cut the sleeves off and look at it. It was still a T&S shirt, but it was a black T&S, not the orange one. So
Right. Here's a Camaro.
So this was and still is our body guy, Kerry Wrinkle. Like I said, he does tons for us. This was actually his personal car, and the Chevelle was too. But Stanley and Zach ended up buying the Chevelle from him, that you'll see here in a minute. But this was a huge deal for us that Kerry Wrinkle just more or less handed. There wasn't no keys, of course, but handed the keys over to Adam and said, "Here you go, man. Drive it like it's yours." And so when Adam turned 16, he crawled out of the junior and crawled in this thing and raced it for quite a few years. And like I said, put it in the winner's circle many times too, but we never owned it. It still looks like this. Kerry says he's going to race it this year. So maybe this car might come back to the racetrack pretty soon.
It looks like 665 on the window.
When we first did it, the car was a little too fast, in my opinion, for my 16-year-old son to go in. So I tried to slow it down every way under the sun. I had big throttle stops underneath the pedal, and I took a ton of timing out of it. And anyway, yeah, it ran. What was the fastest it went when we got done? I finally opened it up, of course, for him. But when we first started, we slowed it way down because it was a pretty fast little.
Sure.
Went 570s. Stanley Ray, like I said, he's my memories. It run 570s when we
You
quit.
knocked a second out of it. Yeah. The
So
winner.
we wouldn't let him go back and forth. We said if you're going to drive if you show up to a race and you drive a junior, you got to drive a junior. You can't drive both. That was one of me and Stanley's rules to both the boys, that if you're big enough to be in a big car, then you can't pick on the juniors no more. So that was our little team rule that we made. So there for a while, I think once he got in the big car, he never went. So I think this picture is a little bit out of sequence because once he got in the big car, he never went back to the little car.
Larry Hunt says Adam was tough in the big car brackets. I enjoyed racing him.
Like I said, he the little shit's won on just about everything he's driven for some reason. Then anyway, he's pretty good at what he does. So thank you, Larry. He's definitely hard. All them bracket boys are hard to beat. That's for certain.
And Craven says Zach Newberry was an absolute beast in that Chevelle, unbeatable.
It's kind of cool. We didn't put any of that stuff in there. We probably should have, but Zach's last race before he went into the military, he doubled up. I think we was at Bon Terre. He doubled up 2 different index classes in that Chevelle and won them both. And then like the next 2 weeks, he left for the Air Force. That was a pretty good way to quit for a little while.
Nice going away for us
to win double up. So yeah, we appreciate that.
And Mark Tito says Zach found an orange shirt.
yeah. See, he owned them.
Eddyville. Larry says Eddyville.
Eddyville. Yeah, you're right. It was Eddyville. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's the Camaro and the
So
Chevelle.
there's the Chevelle. So that would have been Adam driving the Camaro and Zach driving the Chevelle, and then Hannah and the Junior, and Lucy quit us. I forget what year Lucy said she was done racing it. So we just had the 3 kids and me racing basically. That's when we hit a lot of bracket races with those 3 cars. We only went to shootouts with we took them all to the shootouts, but we went to a lot of bracket races that year when the boys got in the big cars.
That's a lot of tie straps.
When we first started racing it, that Chevelle and Camaro, Kerry Wrinkle owned both of them and turned both those cars over to the boys. So that was pretty cool. And then Stanley and Zach ended up buying that Chevelle from him. So it had the Enderley injection on it when we bought it. And I wasn't smart enough to keep that thing running very good. It didn't take me long to put the carburetor back on that car.
Chris Penny says he remembers seeing Zach around.
Yep. He's still around. He just don't get to come, or he don't get to come to the races very often. But he's still he's back local now, so he's back home. We just haven't quite got him to the racetrack yet.
Mocan 2021.
Yep, that would have been Adam driving that one. Then it looks like by his eyes there. I'm pretty sure Adam was in that one.
Yep.
So Adam drove that car. Kerry wanted his car back, and Zach was in the military, so we put Adam over there in the Chevelle and let him drive it.
Cool. Here's the Camaro.
Yep.
Ozark.
Used to fly the flag pretty extensively for Zach back in the day when he left us to go racing. We had that. We had an Air Force flag that we'd fly, and the car's still set up for it. We just don't put it in there anymore, do we? We probably need to start doing that again. The hole's back there for the flags pole. We just don't ever put it in there no more. But when Zach left, we started doing more military flag kind of for Zach there.
Yeah,
Right.
very cool.
Cool. There's a winner's check. Winner.
Winner.
I've talked enough. You go. Where was that at? It looks like
August
Bonterra to me.
21. 650 index. Titans at 10.5.
You know what track this is, Adam?
That's
Bonterra.
Bonterra.
Yep.
Of course, that was the Titans deal, Larry and Al's deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, Gary, go back one picture real quick.
One.
Is that Frost back there? And then behind him at that 197 that I raced, maybe?
I think so. I forget his
Title
name.
car as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and Chris said that also. Chris said that's Rich Frost. Like seeing that nose of that Mustang there. Yeah. Yeah.
Tony, what was the name of that guy in the black 197? He was just with us at Arc City. I raced him.
Jim Lockwood.
Yeah, Lockwood.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a Taito tunes on that one, too.
Yeah. Very
Yep.
cool.
So,
Gary, we're going to have to get over to Ozark.
I know we are.
You need to. Come on down. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, if somebody's correcting us.
Zach says that's Richard Mayhew.
That
No,
Mayhew did have a black car that looked like Lockwood's.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to tell the difference for me anyway.
Yeah,
But
same.
Mark says it's Lockwood, so it's somebody.
Hard to tell.
Yeah. Here's 2 cars winning, it looks like.
Yeah, so there's another winner circle. Me and that was Hannah there. Yeah, so you can see we put the Hannah's name there on side. So
Yeah.
there's one of them flags I told you that we kind of had a blend of the
Oh, that is awesome.
Air Force and
Yeah.
the American flag deal. He's holding it out there. That was
That's
when me and
great.
Hannah both got in the winner circle.
Is this
There's only
still
one
like,
time when all 3 of us got in there. I think that picture's coming up.
it's
but
coming? Yeah, it's coming. Is this still 2021?
I would say this is 21, if I had to
Mhm.
guess.
Oh, the date on this check is August of 21.
I would say that's probably pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh, that's you. You get to talk.
That's when I got inducted into the Drag Racers Hall of Fame.
Very cool.
Southwest Missouri Drag Racers Reunion and Hall of Fame. Well, that's really cool.
Rising Star, they call it.
Yep.
Okay.
Who are some of these other people, Adam?
That's
Start on one end, I guess.
it's my dad's parents on the far left, and then Goose and my grandma, his wife, and then Hannah's boyfriend in front of them, Hannah, and then that's Dally and Cash, Stanley's stepkids, and then my mom behind them, my grandma Linda, my mom's mom, and then Casey and Stanley in the back.
Very cool. Man, I'll tell you what, you guys pack a team there together. You know?
Yeah, everybody says we got an entourage. Like I said, it takes three RVs and 3 trailers to get all of our people and strapped to the racetrack.
Oh, go back a picture, Gary.
Huh?
Go back one picture. I think they had to use the wide lens.
Oh yeah,
Had to use
orange shirts.
had to use the old panoramic option on that one, didn't they? I can't tell who all's in there, but that's my mom and dad. I can't tell who's right there next to them.
That's just,
You guys need sponsored by Orange Crush or something like that.
I know it. We need to.
that is awesome.
That'd be awesome if that it actually tasted good, but it don't.
Just great to see you guys race as a family there. That's just awesome.
So another part of the family, go back to that one picture there on stage, and it's a little easier for me to see anyway. So Linda there, that's right in front of Stanley. That's Shelly and Stanley's mom. So like I said, we got quite the family. That gets quite a bit of talk when Linda and Goose get to hang out as much as they do, you know, being ex-wife, ex-husband type of thing. But they get along pretty good for us. So haven't caused us too many problems anyway. That brought up a lot of talk when we first started talking that, you know, that they're divorced and they still race like this together. But they're in separate RVs, of course. But yeah, we're in the same team. So that's Donna over there in front of Goose. That's Donna's wife now. So
Larry Hunt says when T&S rolls into the track, we call it the T&S convoy.
It does. We have a convoy, that's for certain. I'm sure my neighbors think the same thing when we all roll out together, because we all roll out and all roll in together. We travel as a unit usually.
There you go.
Oh man, that's good. All right, big change coming in the next picture. You ready?
Sure. Oh yeah. That's when we brought the old car back home. I forget the guy's name we bought it from. He was over in Nixa. He had it for sale on Marketplace, and man, I bet I got like 15 messages. Hey, dude, look, your old car's for sale. And at that time, we was kind of in limbo. We just purchased a car from Foreman that we was going to turn into a car for Adam, and it was a 4th gen car that we was going to build. And anyway, this car kind of presented itself, and with the help of, again, good family friend Kerry Wrinkle, we didn't have the funds to go buy it, so he gave Adam a pretty good loan to go over there and buy it, and Adam paid him off in the next 12 months to make that car his own. And so that's what it looked like when Tito got done with it. Tito built that car, or took all my mild steel cage out that needed out. It was old. He put all chromoly stuff in it there for Eric Perry, and then Tito drove it for Eric for a while. And I think when you go over here to the next picture or so, we bought it with a beauty mark down the left side. Pretty sure that was a Tito deal. Pretty sure he scraped the wall in it just a little bit, put a little beauty mark in it. Anyway, that's what it looked like when we brought her home. Let's see, that's in my notes somewhere.
Kimberly Schote says Chris Leak had it.
That's possible. I forget the guy's name. Kimberly and Wes aren't usually wrong with their names, so I'll believe them.
Craven says, I don't know if it's been said, but Goose is one of the absolute best people in the drag racing community.
He's a pretty good dude, that's for certain.
There, yeah, you can kind of see that on the door there.
Yeah, beauty mark.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, that's when we just unloaded it. You can see it. We bought it as a roller, and then we put it back together. Weirdly enough, after Tito's updates, when we got it back, it surprised me that my old rear end I built was still underneath that car from years ago. But the torque arm was different. Of course, the cage, you had the funny car chromoly cage in it. And it was a lot better car than when we sold it, that's for certain. But so before we debuted it, of course, that was one requirement of our body guy. Kerry says it has to be orange or you can't take it racing. And we say, well, that's your job, bro. So we took the T-tops out, put a roof on it, lightened it up, took them factory doors off, and we still got them. You know, they keep pushing this all steel, all glass crap. We might hang the doors back on it, but
There you go.
And
Anyway,
put the T-tops back in.
no, we won't put the T-tops back in.
That's factory glass.
That is, but
That's funny.
And my phone shows that Zach Newberry is watching right now.
nice.
Nice.
Yep, that's my knucklehead nephew. I call him. Love him to death.
And John Hurd is watching. Hey, John Hurd.
John Hurd needs to get his race car back out.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Run some limited with it.
Limited. Get some doors and let's go.
Yep. That's a cool picture under the awning here.
Yeah, that's kind of how we currently race it. Well, I mean, used to, I guess, this year. So that's how we used to try to take both of them. I remember when we rolled Adam's car out of the trailer, I remember Craven said that he thought it was pretty cool when we rolled it out in T&S orange, he called it. He said that was pretty badass. He wasn't expecting it to be orange. Anyway, we didn't really when all the pictures, I like to put shit up on Facebook, of course, as you can tell, but Adam was pretty adamant that it could not show any body color in any pictures that I put up that we're doing. So we kind of debuted it with it being orange and nobody knew it but us and of course Kerry Wrinkle, who painted it for us. So awesome. I remember Craven commented nice words when we rolled it out of the box in its orange status.
There you go.
This looks like Ozark.
Yep, that's Ozark.
More winning.
Yep.
Yeah.
The kids, of course, those kids, they know where the winner circle is.
And it was Adam, were you running 8.5 with this or what class?
Yeah, 8.5.
So how fast were you going in 8.5?
When we first built the car, we didn't plan on. We thought we'd have to run like 5.0s, 5 teens, and then the third race out, we ended up running a 4.89.
Oh,
Third
wow.
race with the car because Tim Webb went 5.0s the first race out, and a couple other guys went 4.90s, 4.80s at Tulsa.
Yeah.
I think Frost went 4.80s.
Yeah.
So we had to end up going a lot faster than we expected.
That was not our plans when I turned him loose in the 8.5 car, but it didn't take us long to say, well, we didn't come here to lose neither. So
Right on.
Right.
So big block nitrous, right?
Yep. We rounded up some of our old big block nitro stuff. What was funny, we had when we went over to Pro Charger with the 14 car, we sold everything, of course, at half price. All of our fuel injection, fuel injectors, throttle bodies, fuel pumps, sold all that crap. So we didn't need any more. We was going Pro Charger racing, and we bought this car back. And then, of course, we had to pay full price for all that crap.
Man.
Yep. Isn't that the way it
Ouch.
works?
Ouch. Yeah.
We had everything to go back, carbureted. We had all of our old carburetors and all of our old nitrous controllers, and the grid. We had a grid we could put in it, and we'd been racing Holly enough with the other car that I looked at Adam and I go, man, we gonna put this thing back together with the leaker on it? And he goes, nope, let's go fuel injection. So he had to pony up some pretty good money to afford that, but we got it done. Put it back on Holly like this car was.
What year is this, Tony?
When did he? 3 big cars, 1 unit, race Hall of Fame. So 2022 was when we put Adam in his own car, it says.
22. Okay. So just a few years back.
Yep.
That makes sense. That's when Webb, like you were saying, driving Chris's car and Frost and all that. So it's a good timeline there. Cool. Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
You want to take 30 seconds and plug our sponsors?
Yes. Let's do that real quick. Take a tiny little break here to thank Mid-America Dragway, Ultra Color Collision Repair, Sandlin Iron and Metal Auto Salvage, and Harry Street Carpet for being great partners in 2024. Thank you. Go back here and read that. There. You almost forgot about that. Good job, Rod.
Oh, yeah.
Need a shot collar. Oh, do that. We're not.
This is like a family dream right here. A trifecta.
Yeah, this was a pretty big deal for me. Of course, that was the day we tried and tried and tried. There was several times that we was really close, and this one all came down to Hannah. I was lucky. I was the 10-5 final was first, So I got the first one, and then Adam was next in the 8.5, and he got that one. So it all kind of fell back on Hannah's shoulders whether or not she could do it. And anyway, that was a really cool moment for me, for certain, was when we all three got in there. We'd been trying a long time and never had done it.
Was this
It's
just
cool.
last fall?
Yeah, that was just last year.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was Hannah's last year driving. She had to get out. She turned 18. So,
even more pressure.
yeah.
Sound like you got to find another orange car.
Yeah, I know it. She says she don't want to get in a big car yet, but we're seeing what happens since we're making some other changes, just going down to the one and seeing if she wants a bracket car or not, get started in. But so far she says no, but we'll see what happens.
Well, get her a heads up car.
Yeah. No, we got to start out in a bracket first. That's one of my rules again. You guys, I ain't going to turn them loose, just run as fast as they can on small tires.
Right.
Hold on a second, Gary. Hold on. Let's take 30 more seconds on this, because people race their whole career and never find the winner circle. The Frost was talking about last week with Penny in there, and same with Spaniak, and even myself. I looked, and it took 3 years before I even touched it. And like, to be able to trifecta in one night, I mean, that's just incredible.
Yeah, it was
just a double up here. People double up like Derek Kelly did. I mean, but a trifecta, that's just hats off to your team there. That's just fantastic.
Yep. It takes all of us, that's for certain, especially when they're all three there. It's almost a full-time job when you got all three of them at the racetrack. You're either working on one, running to the lanes, or pulling one back, and there's not any downtime until it's over when we have all three of them there. Because, with all three cars running different classes, of course, if you ain't working on one, you're racing one on the line. So it definitely takes all of us when we had all three of them.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Gary.
Of all the family racing moments you've had over the years, is this like the highlight? Is this the best moment you've had?
That's mine. I can't speak for everybody else, but this
Adam?
is mine.
Yeah.
Is it? What does Shelly think?
What's the rest of the crew there say that's in the room?
My wife is not here. She's getting ready for Bible school. My brother-in-law Stanley says she needs to be, because she keeps blowing his phone up when I don't know my dates. She's trying to help out on dates via text, I think. But you want me to bring Stanley? Stanley and Goose is over here. They're listening and watching.
Just ask them what their highlight moment is.
Stanley, what's your highlight moment? They want to know what your highlight moment of racing is.
This would be tough to beat.
He's thinking. Goose, you're going to be next. What's your highlight moment? Goose says this one right here is his highlight.
I bet. Yeah.
That's hard to beat, Triple.
This would be tough to beat.
Here, Stanley's coming. I'll move and let Stanley sit down.
Okay.
I don't know. The first time I went in the 490s was pretty big too. It was that's been several years ago, but it was so hard to get that when we finally did, it was pretty emotional just to think of all the hard work. And people don't realize just to get a 10th is so much. You get so far, and when you get something like that, it's pretty special too.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Man, with the kids, we've been so fortunate and so blessed to get to do this as a family.
Yeah.
With the kids and with my mom and dad and it's everybody. It's been so we've had a lot of fun. Very few fights, a couple fights along the way in the family, but nothing too crazy. We always made up.
I don't care what Craven says. We all get along now.
All right.
Just over the years getting to do this, blood, sweat, and tears. It's anytime you pull one in the winter circle has been pretty special.
You got that right.
Them three right there, that one right there was a lot of work, and it was really cool.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
What year was that 490?
What year was the 490? Ooh, I don't know. I can't remember that exactly. It's probably been.
Tell that story of the 5.0 pass when we burnt the motor down and the toter down. You remember that?
So we was at a throwdown one time, and
that was our first 5.0 pass.
We went 5.00, like 5.000, and we burned it up. We blew the motor up, so we didn't get to race next round. We won. It was like 5 with 3 zeros. So we blew it up. And then on the way home, we blew up the motor in the toter. So it was about a 15,000 blow up. But my dad didn't care a bit. He was so happy. That's the fastest we'd ever been. He didn't care. He was just happy, ecstatic. So then the next year we decided we're going to build a big motor. We built a 665. Going to go fast. And it took us the whole year to go to get the 490. At the end of the year, that year, we finally went at Street Machines. We finally went 490s. Spent a whole bunch of money and slowed down for a long time.
Oh, man.
Josh Maddox always jokes about that. Have you ever spent 50,000 and went slower? Yeah, we have.
Right.
But eventually we got it figured out and we actually went faster. So
nice.
Wow.
Hey, everybody's blowing the phone up saying mind your own business. What's going on there?
Who is?
Mind your own standard, Ray. Mark, Tito.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Tony get back on here. I'm not a very good talker. We'll let Adam talk. Adam loves to talk. Adam likes to talk.
No.
Hey.
Oh, well, you're special.
There's the boss.
Hey,
Hello, guys.
Hey.
My favorite moment is that trifecta because we'll never do it again. I don't think that we'll ever have 3 cars.
Yeah.
When father, daughter, son, all 3 won together, that was a moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
For sure.
And it was a moment when Stanley Ray was talking about blowing the whole side out of the block at Tulsa, getting back to Mount Vernon and blowing the toter up.
Right.
Man.
Both of them the same trip. The the toter home or toter truck and the big block Chevrolet.
Nice.
Dang.
So that was quite a expensive winter, but we made it.
Tito
Stanley
Mark.
said we've had our ups and downs, but we're still sticking together.
Yeah.
Tito Mark says Goose for president.
Ooh, looky there.
Hey, if I did, there'd be a lot of changes made.
Well, we need some changes.
Yeah.
Hey, Goose.
Don't get him started on politics, boys.
Don't get me going on
Find something
politics.
else.
Oh, man.
You ain't got enough time on the air if you got me
Right
started.
on. 2-hour show. Hey, Goose, hold on. I got a question. Hold on. Don't leave, Goose. All right.
I'm gonna turn it back over to Tony.
Hold on. I got a
Unless
question.
you got some question for me.
Yeah. This is for Goose. You remember we were talking about how you were doing the dirt, the mud and everything before. And Tony said, no, I want to go drag racing. So looking back now, do you think you made the right decision?
Yes. Well, I still love truck pulling, don't get me wrong, but yes, because I would have been the one enjoying it all, and these guys would have been going because I wanted them to. And I enjoyed drag racing. I got a little carried away, wanting too much, too quick, got a little hateful. But all in all, we've done good. So,
I'd say so.
but I would, I'd still like to put a truck down the track, but that's just the way life is. Sometimes you don't get to do everything you want to do.
Good answer.
So-
Good answer. Thanks for jumping on.
Awesome.
I know we got a pretty good engine in the shop up there that would fit in a pulling truck pretty good. It might be a little bigger than what it's supposed to be, but if they didn't know it, I told them one time if I came back truck pulling when I drove in the driveway, I'd be cheating.
Yeah. Hey, Goose, hold on a second. Larry Hunt wants to know about the Ford motor with no oil pressure. What's going on there?
The what?
The Ford motor with no oil pressure?
The motor with no oil pressure?
Yeah,
It
the
was a
Ford
big
motor.
block Chevrolet. I backed up the sled, didn't have any oil pressure. I pulled it out in the pits, filled the crankcase plumb full of oil. Pulled it back up, pulled it. I don't know if I won or not, but I went way down the track. No oil pressure. Got it home, and I'd split the block right down the mains. You could put a knife blade in every one of them. But it might have been that fuel I was running.
Ah,
It
there you
was
go.
supposed to run.
yeah, that's great.
Good story.
That's funny.
See you guys.
All right. Thank you.
See you later, Goose. Oh, man.
Tony got you a living legend over there.
What's that? Sorry.
You got you a living legend over there.
I do. Yeah. There's lots of pictures of him in the old truck pulling days. It's crazy. He tells stories driving to Niagara Falls and all that crap to win a trophy. I can't believe all that stuff. His old shop stories. I've heard them all several times, but I act like I haven't because he likes to tell them. So,
Well, Gary and I have only been in the game with you Missouri boys for a couple of years, and everybody we roll around just talks highly of your family and Goose, you know. Especially.
That's good to know. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we pissed off several, but it's good to hear that most of them talk good of us anyway.
Yeah. No big deal.
You just talking about how big of an accomplishment it was to go that 499.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I went my first trip into the fours out here at Kansas National Dragway, I think Rodney, we was talking about having phones in our car, being live and recording. I think I was live on Facebook and the phone was in my car and it went for whatever it was, you know, at the 8th mile, you can see the board light up before you pass it by. And man, I'm in there, woo, yeah, blah, just going crazy inside the car. Well, along comes Street Outlaws and watching that, you know, and them guys race and they're wow inside the car. And my wife goes, "You guys really act like that inside the cars?" I said, "Absolutely, we do. We do act like that inside the car. We do that. Woo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, I'll tell a quick story too. In this car I got currently, it was me and Cameron in the final in 2020, and oh dude, I was so pumped up. I had tears in my eyes, man, and it was by 0.006, and luckily for me, he kind of power wheelied a little bit, and he had to do a quick chop, and that's all it took. And yeah, it's emotional, man. It is emotional.
That's no kidding.
Yep.
I know I've turned into a big crybaby the older I get.
Yeah.
Them little gains and them little goals are important, man.
Yeah.
I was pretty emotional last weekend when we not last weekend, when we raced last at Mocan when Adam and Devin ended up racing in the final. And those Browns are hard to beat. So when we do it, we get pretty pumped up when we can outrun the Browns because they're good at what they do. So
that's right.
Well, let's
I know
talk
I
about
was
that.
pretty emotional on the starting line when we finally found a tune-up that went down pretty fast and ended up beating Devin there in the final, Devin and Jason. I was pretty emotional on the starting line then.
I bet. What talk us through getting up to that point? Did they wait on you or something, I guess?
Yeah, they was awesome people, of course, waited on us. You want to tell it? You ain't talked to any. I've been talking all the time.
You're better talker.
I'm a better talker, almost like I teach for a living. So we was decent at Mocan, I think, but you know, we was just behind. We wasn't the fast person there, but we was going down and got up there to the final, and they'd skipped us, around. And that little alcohol pump that we've done, it's done this to us once before, where if you don't get it started every now and then, it loses prime. So they skipped us so that we could run the final last, basically, you know. So they skipped a round of the 10-5 stuff and ran another round of the bracket stuff so that we could have a little bit more time, which was awesome. But in that amount of time, our fuel pump lost prime. So Adam was cranking it and he keyed on the radio, "I ain't got no fuel pressure." So we all knew what that meant. So we usually keep brake clean on the side-by-side, which of course that's usually his job when I'm driving. And of course I didn't do my job. So I didn't have the brake clean on the side-by-side for the driver. And I ran into some guy's trailer. I didn't even know who the hell he was, but he had his trailer there. I ran in it, grabbed his brake clean. I don't know what brand it was, but it wasn't flammable. I hosed it, and it wouldn't start. So I looked over at my daughter, and of course Jason was right there helping, trying to, we was racing him, but he was right there helping us, trying to get it running. And they was all saying this other stuff, and I go, "Damn it, it just ain't got no fuel." And so I turned around and told my daughter, I was like, "Go get my brake clean out of the door." So she did, and of course it fired right up. And then, the rounds was top notch and waited on us to get it run because we was way over 2 minutes. And anyway, they actually shut it off in the box and waited on us. And then we got lucky and found a 32 against their 44, I think it was. And
man,
they may have spun or something. I don't remember. But anyway, we had run in the 30s all day, and we finally tuned it up enough where we found it. So.
Very good. Very good. Great story.
That was the fastest. It was a 34 because it was a personal best for the car. We never ran that fast, and of course Adam never had either. So
Devin says that was a greatest honor to get to run Adam and get to witness his first 10-5 win.
There you go. Well
good
said.
People right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sportsman Racing. Yep. Shelly and Kurt. So this goes with the picture of this, right? All three of you here.
Yeah, that was just a zoomed in picture of our trophies there we won.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yep.
Got them up on the shelf in the shop. Like I said, the kids got more trophies up there than I do for certain.
This is Titans this year in May, right? At Mid-America Dragway.
I think so.
That looks
We
it.
had the red, white, and blue flags on there. We put them, or the chutes out there about halfway through last year. So that one's pretty recent.
And this is the other car.
Yeah, that was Adam's car.
Adam's car. Cool.
8.5 deal.
Great
Some
shots.
Cool pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the dual chutes on them.
Zach Newberry says, come a long way since starting in juniors.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, we have.
This is at Flying H.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
recently.
Yep.
This is probably, this is when we had kind of first talked to you guys.
That's the first time we
Flying
met,
H.
I think, face to face
Yeah.
for certain. I know it was the first time I met you guys.
Right.
What do you think of that place? You like it, Flying H?
I liked it. I really did. Of course, that weekend, I wish the prep was a little bit more, but I know we was there at a pro mod race. But
Right.
yeah, I really like everybody there. Was super nice. All the track people, as far as the tech guys and all that, man, they just, I don't know how many times we were thankful for coming and glad to see us. And
Yep.
just
We had this
really good group. We had to park there in the gravel, but I hear it's asphalt now. But even the gravel, it was still packed down hard.
It was. Yeah.
It was cool to be there with the pro mods. We haven't got to race with pro mods in a long time just because everybody knows prep's different. And
Sure.
we really enjoyed racing that. We raced with that Midwest pro mod when they had that X275 stuff.
Yep.
And we raced with them quite a bit. And I enjoyed racing Tulsa and everything with the pro mods. And because you knew it wasn't going to be just glue prep, which kind of usually we can find that stuff fairly good. And when it's not just throw all your horsepower, that's when we struggle, is at the flypaper tracks is where we can't run with them. But you give us a little questionable service and we can usually go a couple rounds anyway. So
Shelly and Kurt Riffle says, Adam, quit talking so much. Laugh out loud.
if you know him, you know he's not known for his talking. That's for certain.
Yeah, and everything you just said about Flying H is when Rodney and I had talks amongst ourselves about our two trips we've taken to Flying H is exact same. Everybody was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
And we're gonna
You
go
go to
back.
a big place like that and you get worried about tech and all that good stuff. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sure there's some stuff outdated on that car that they, that we was nervous about. Maybe they'd look, maybe they wouldn't. And anyway, they
Tech
was
guys
all
were cool.
Yeah.
I ate their donuts, and good stuff. This where's this at? Mocan?
That was at Mocan. That was when Adam was driving at Mocan. This is that same deal I just told you about. It was
Okay.
when he's racing Devin and stuff. This wasn't against Devin, but that was that same race where we won against Devin.
Right.
We struggled there pretty hard too, but we finally found it.
It'd be this. This is the winner.
Yep.
June 15th, 24.
Yeah.
Just last month.
Just last month.
Awesome.
I think we had 3 in a row. We had Flying H, this one, and Ozark, all 3 in a row.
Busy. Now we got a torn apart car.
Yeah, that's Adams. It's got that was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we back had, like I said, Mark did a whole lot of good stuff to it, but we didn't like the torque arm in it no more. So we made it a 4-link. It still had all the factory wheel tubs and stuff in it. And so we left Mark's hoop in it and driver's, funny car cage, and then that top X bar. We put a 4-link in it 2 years ago and put all new carbon fiber stuff in the back and tried to take as much weight out of it as we could. That was 2 years ago project.
Okay, cool.
There's Adam underneath there doing his welding. He made just about all the welds on that car. He's doing pretty good on it. So
Good.
he don't like aluminum yet. He makes me do the aluminum right now, but steel stuff he's down. We're wanting to try some titanium, but we haven't made any of those purchases yet.
Uh-huh.
So that was 2 years ago when we put the 4-link under it, built the new housing for it, and basically copied the 10.5 car. It's got the same brackets, 4-link stuff. Rear end housing was a lot wider, of course, with that 8.5 tire, but same concept as our 4th gen car is what we was kind of going for.
Okay.
Cool.
So that was that build process of 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we raced it like that. Like I said, put 8.5 with them big old chrome or carbon fiber tubs in it. He spent a ton of time lining up all that carbon the right way and all them scallops. I didn't want to put scallops in. I was like, dude, that's going to take forever. He wanted to make it look good, and he did. It looks nice.
A lot of work, man.
Yeah, great job. Looks fantastic.
The rest of the pictures are this extra stuff you sent with, helping Ricky Smith and Scott Palmer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was some stuff Adam did. Yep. So let's see. I got a note down on what year that was. That was 2023. Go, bro. This is your turn.
Jim Weens, my boss, came in on like a Monday or Tuesday and asked me if I wanted to go to Florida for the week. And I said, sure. And he said, Ricky Smith needs some help. So then Dad talked to Scott Palmer about it. And then between Scott and Jim, I got hooked up and went to Florida for the week at the World Series of Pro Mod and helped Ricky Smith for the week.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
For the first
What's
week.
your best memory of that?
Why do you call you Chris?
Oh, yeah. Hey, somebody needs to chime in. I'm sure somebody will. Somebody will call him Chris. Mike,
Yeah.
Mark did. He said, hey,
Mark, who is Chris?
I got there Monday, and until I think Wednesday or Thursday, he thought my name was Chris. He's on the. I had a headset because until Wednesday it was just me and him, and he was on the headset. He's like, "Chris, are the tires good?" And I was like, "Who is Chris?" But I knew that I was supposed to be the guy doing tires, so I just said, "Yeah." So until Wednesday or Thursday, he thought my name was Chris.
And of course, Adam screwed up and told that story, and so now there's several people that come up and say, "Hey, Chris, what are you doing?"
Oh, it's a lot now.
Mark and them was there, and this was an awesome experience for Adam. And I'll chime in a little bit and say some stuff. But Ricky Smith don't quite eat like we do at the racetrack. We eat pretty good, and Ricky Smith's kind of an extremely basic eater, and my son was not ready for that.
Oh,
so go ahead.
He eats ham and cheese sandwiches and beanie weenies the whole week.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was one day I had a ham and cheese sandwich for lunch and a ham and cheese sandwich for dinner. And we were done racing one night, and I went over to Tito's pit and was telling him about it. And he looked at me and said, "That won't happen again." So every other day after that, he brought me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Every day after that.
That'd be all right if that ham and cheese sandwich is like an inch thick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Tito's saying that Adam likes to eat. Is that right?
Yes.
He can. He's lost a lot of weight, though. If you don't know, he's lost over 40 pounds, so he don't eat like he used to. But back then, you're right, he could eat.
Yeah. That's an awesome experience, though, to go hang out with Ricky Smith. Holy cow.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yep.
What are you thinking there, son? Tell a story there. You got any? Come on, do some talking.
I just pretty cool to get to pull Ricky Smith into the beams.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah.
Man. Legendary Ricky Smith. I think Shelley Kurt says, "I love the family racing team."
Got it.
I think these are from Scott Palmer stuff you sent.
Yeah, so Scotty took I don't know if this was the first time he took two dragsters, but he went to Topeka with two dragsters. This is when Alex was driving his main car, I'm going to call it. And this was kind of his backup car, if you want to call it that. But Scott was driving this one, and Alex was driving the other one. So all of his, I call it the good crew. His normal crew was on, of course, Alex's car. And he asked me and Adam and the Bakers. I don't know if you know Todd Baker and them. Barker. Yeah, I'm sorry, Barker. Todd Barker and them, they run some nostalgia funny car stuff. And he's had two sons. And, of course, they had Hemi experience, but none of us had worked on a top fuel car ever. And the five of us was on that car for Scott that weekend. And anyway, I don't think we made it to first round, which was a goal for us, just turning the car around after testing and going to first round. But I'm pretty sure Scott lost first round. There's Adam banging in some sleeves on it. There's the Barker brother, the two Barker boys there. So like I said, there was five of us, father and son team there that Scott got to have the rookies working on his car. But it is extremely patient. I'm sure we screwed shit up. In fact, I know I did. I put one of the pulleys on wrong, and that cost us one run. And anyway, but Scotty Palmer's a good dude. He took extremely good care of us that weekend, and we and Adam lived at the racetrack forever. Like I said, and my feet have never hurt like I did that weekend. Oh my God, it was crazy the amount of walking and steps you put in. You think, oh hell, we go, top fuel racing, that'll be fun, but it was work. It was work, that's for certain.
Adam, is this the kind of work you'd like to do? Would you like to work on a team like this, or like give up the racing that you're doing and do this, or no?
I don't think so. I like driving and doing stuff myself at the house. And
yeah, that's a whole nother level here.
It is. It was fun to get to do it the one time, and I'll probably do it again, but I wouldn't want to do it as a full-time job.
Right.
Got a little taste of it.
Yeah, Craven said he's probably still cleaning sand out of his shoes like everyone who goes to Bradenton. Yep.
Man, we sat back then. We both look a lot better right now.
Yeah.
Is this from helping Palmer still?
Yep, that was our crew shirts where we got to go to the starting line.
Cool.
That was cool it was cool for me being in the staging lanes and, with all the people you watch on TV, they're all just walking around like we all walk around in the staging lanes at a normal event, but you're sitting there going, holy shit, there's, you're walking around all the people that you watch every Sunday on TV. That was kind of cool for me. I wasn't expecting that. Like I said, it's just like more or less us being at the races, but it was with all them big wigs on TV. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, neat experience. I got 5 more pictures, and they're the ones that Mark sent me with you helping on the Camaro.
That might be scary if Mark sent them.
No, they're good. Doing some work on the Camaro.
Yeah, so Tito sent me a couple pictures of this. Basically, he sent me this, and this is the exact same thing that me and Adam kind of had planned for his car over the winter. We started it way early, but the wintertime, we was wanting to do this same type of project to Adam's car, put double frame rails in it, and we never built a strut car. I never located struts or any of that stuff yet, and we've back halved several, but never did a front half on one. And so I asked Mark if I could come and get in his way and try to help. I hope I haven't been in the way more than I was helping, but I probably have been. But he'll probably be nice to say I wasn't. But I've been giving him about 2 days a week now for, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks, maybe. I don't know how long, but so yeah, that's kind of what it looked like last. Yeah, that's pretty much what he's probably got some more firewall stuff done by now by the pictures he sent me, but it's went from that to that. And he had quite a few bars in it before I started helping him, but I helped put a couple of them in anyway. It's cool. I've been learning a lot. I really appreciate Mark's time, and he's doing a really cool job on it. And I'm definitely picking up tidbits of notching tubing. I'm getting better at that. I've always notched tube, but I'm not going to lie. I pretty was bad at it. Took me a couple tries usually. And so far we fit a couple for Adams, and I hit it on the first try. So he's taught me some good tricks and locating struts and stuff like that. And hopefully I'm a little bit of help to him anyway. At least I can help lift the front end and stuff on and off with him. Give him another set of hands.
Right.
That was cool. I always say there's 2 good days when you're building a car: the day it goes on the jig and the day it comes off. And that was the day it came off. So
on the ground. Yeah.
There you go.
That was a cool picture.
Great picture.
So yeah, I'm getting lucky getting to work on the old original Wolverine. Not many people don't get to say that.
Okay.
It's been a good time. I've been having a good time. Plus his shop's air conditioned, so it's been nice this last month.
Yeah.
Well, this picture looks like you're getting fit to drive it.
Well, this brought up a lot of people asking questions. That's for certain, and I never did really answer any of them. I just said, man, you'd have to talk to Mark." But of course, there's no plan on me driving this car. But I'll make that official now, I guess. But we sure did run with it for a week or two when he put that picture up. He sent that picture to a couple of the guys. I've been messing with Junior pretty hard about it because Junior wants in it pretty bad, I think. And so I've been telling him, man, he's making that car fit me perfect. Just playing with Junior, but hopefully he ain't listening because I'll still tell him, yep, we're fitting it for me. So
yeah, he's probably not watching, Oh man, that's good stuff.
Heck yeah.
That wraps up all the
You
pictures.
said that about 6 or 7 hearts just came up as soon as you said that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Tony, we talked about it earlier. We're going to take the time just to kind of pause. And this is the time you kind of thank, the people that got you guys here and that sort of thing. Anybody that helped you along the way. And just like we do every show. So
This is the stuff I'm not real good at, but I'll try my best anyway. Of course, couldn't do any of it without the family, but I'll go there last, I guess. But some of the people that help us out there in the industry is we got a guy we keep on the phone quite a bit over out in California. His name's Mike Bula. I call him Bula. I think his name's Bola, maybe, though. I always say his last name wrong. I should know his last name. But I burn up his phone calls on shock settings and chassis settings and stuff like that. He's helped us for quite a few years on both cars with the chat. When we went to 4Link, I didn't know what I was doing. So he's been a huge help on both cars for 4Link. Jordan Lasik, Gen 3 Speed. He's helped me tune on both cars off and on. When I have service, that's what sucks is, to get the full benefit out of Jordan, you kind of need him to remote in. And most of the places we race, the cell service isn't real good for him to get on there. But he's helped me out a ton, especially with the Pro Charger car. Jordan's helped out a bunch with the Pro Charger car. We've been buying parts forever from a place called Island Racing out in Vermont. That's where I get all my engine stuff that we do. And like I said, we try to do everything in-house. So we do motors and wiring and the Ford, all the bar stuff. We try to do it all, unfortunately. Sometimes I think that's unfortunate, but so Island Racing's helped us out. Of course, Chance has been on board off and on, and but we seem to always go back to a Chance converter. That's what's in the car now. And so anyway, he's been helping us forever. First time we got the Pro Charger car going, he let us come down there and use his hub dyno, and he gave us a guy for the day basically to run the dyno. And Jordan was on the keyboards there, remoting in, because I didn't know nothing about boost and alcohol and all that crap. Yeah. So I got a good lesson that day, and Marty gave us the opportunity to use his dyno. It was fairly close for us. Right. So he was there. Of course, Tito, Mark Wardenhausen, he helps us all the time, and appreciate everything he does. And I'm probably missing some people, but Kerry Wrinkle, I'm going to go up to family, and Kerry Wrinkle's just as close as you can get. He does all of our body work and stuff, of course. Of course, my mom and dad, Stanley Goose. You got anybody?
Just the family.
Of course, Shelly, the wife, she's the unsung hero. She does everything basically. Packs up RVs, cooks. We'd all go starving without her, and tries to keep us all in line. Sometimes more than we need. Sometimes she's a little bit too involved sometimes, but she's the anchor for me anyway.
Right on.
Who you got, bro? Same thing, ditto?
Yeah, same thing.
But anyway, I just appreciate everybody. I'm sure I left somebody out, and I apologize. This is the stuff I suck at, but
you did great. You did great. You may already answer this question, but I'm going to go ahead and ask in a different way. Just kind of reflecting back, and just it may be the trifecta race, but like, what would you say is your most memorable race that you ever went throughout your guys' career as a family?
Besides the trifecta, I guess one of them that I like telling. I know I said how good Mark is to us, Tito, and how we're friends. But back in the day, when me and Stanley first went racing, we went to go outrun the Tito cars. They was always the fast cars. Right. And if you could outrun the Tito cars, you was doing something. And one of the races I remember was against Mark. He was in Junior's car. Okay. We was at Mocan. I think it was a Mako race. In fact, I know it was because Holloway was running it. Right. And we had heard it. We pulled a rocker stand bolt out of the intake. And so we was dumping oil in one of the holes. And it was in the final. We was racing. Tito was actually driving Junior's car. It was going to be a good race. Well, with that hole being bad, of course, we did stuff that we probably shouldn't have. We smashed the plug shut, took the jets out, put blanks in. We was running the fogger. And
sure.
Holloway come by and goes, "You guys done then, ain't you?" And we said, "Hell no, we're putting her in the beams and going to run it down through there." So since it was down on power, my bright idea was, well, hell, I got to turn it up. If it's down on power, I'm down a hole. I got to turn it up. because we wanted to win. We wanted to go out there and outrun that title car. And
Right.
anyway, we turned it up, and that thing stood up, did another big wheelie. I had to pedal it. I don't know exactly what happened to Mark, but I'm pretty sure he spun too. So it was kind of a pedal race. But that was probably one of my most liked telling the stories because it was hurt. We probably shouldn't have raced it, but we was racing it, and we got to try to outrun that title car again one more time. So that was one of my stories I enjoy telling anyway. Of one time we raced, probably shouldn't have, and then beat one of the legends, beat Mark when we probably shouldn't have. So.
Yeah. What about you, Adam? Go ahead.
I knew you were going to ask me, and I don't really know. I like when I won the Ironman race in the junior. That one kind of stands out a lot because to me that was a big race. I never had won a trophy like that before, and then probably this last race when I was driving the 10.5 car will always be a good memory.
Nice.
Beating them Browns. Beating them Browns
Yeah.
is kind of like beating the title cars back in the day.
Yeah.
That's doing something when you're beating them.
Telling you what.
Hey, Tony and Adam, if you guys weren't drag racing or any kind of racing, what would your hobby be if you wasn't doing this? What kind of hobby would you have?
I don't know, dude. This is all we do.
Somebody's laughing in the background.
That's Stanley. That was Stanley laughing in the background. Little Stanley, anyway.
I didn't know there is anything else.
Fishing,
Yeah, I was gonna
golfing.
say, we pretty much just live, eat, breathe drag racing. But
Yeah.
in the wintertime, we do we do some gun shooting stuff. But I don't think we'd do that full time by no means. But we like piddling with some long range shooting. But we wouldn't be doing that full time. But
sure,
drag racing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the same thing too. If I wasn't involved in this in some way, I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't know anything else.
I couldn't imagine the amount of free time I'd probably have, but I don't want it.
And more money. I don't know how to hunt. I don't know how to fish. I don't know how to do nothing.
One follow-up question. Gary usually asks this. What is your favorite racetrack? Where is your favorite racetrack?
Well, I can't say that Rogersville's not way up there just because it's home. It's 45 minutes. I mean, that's where we started. That's where we always race. It's where we call home. My father-in-law helps out whatever he can do there. I know that's where he calls home. Probably as far as surface, I used to really love Tulsa, but they don't have small tire stuff for us no more. I didn't get to drive, of course, on supposedly the smoothest surface that we've had the opportunity, which was at Flying H.
Flying H.
Oh, it's smooth.
I hear it's smooth, but I'd say home is Ozark. I gotta say Ozark's the place I like. That's where we're home, is at Ozark.
Mark.
What about you, Adam?
Same.
Okay.
Mark says if we weren't racing, we'd be busy counting our money.
That ain't no kidding.
Right.
Adam, looks like you have a fan. Do you know who this is?
That's my girlfriend's brother.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for watching on the YouTube side. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Gary.
Yep. Man, you guys had some great stories.
Thank you. I didn't know. I was pretty nervous. I didn't know if I could. I knew this was normally goes till 9, and I was like, man, what the heck are we going to talk about for that long?
It goes
Dude,
by
it just
fast.
flies
As
by.
most people know, I can talk. I guess that's why I'm a school teacher. So
That's great.
Yep. It flies by. It's great.
No kidding. Gary, you want to plug the like and subscribe?
Yep. Right here. This is our YouTube channel, Heads Up Racing Gary and Hot Rod Podcast. And if you're on the YouTube side, we can't see it here, but hopefully you can see it in the bottom right corner, the little subscribe tab. You can subscribe there. We're growing slowly. So we're just at a pace. We'll just keep going and going and going. And
Just in it to have some fun.
we're in it to have some fun and hang out with some cool guys like you. Just Adam is famous now. How wild. You don't forget about us.
Yeah, don't forget about us.
that's what little Stanley keeps telling him. Don't forget us when you get big.
Don't forget.
Hanging
Craven
out
said,
with Smith.
and Craven said Tony is the 2021 Street Machines winner.
No,
That's
okay,
true.
Cool.
I've won points a couple times at Ozark and won a couple of the big races. So I've gotten lucky, like I said. But I say I was just the lucky one to get to drive it. I couldn't do it without Stanley and Goose and all the team that we got. So
well said.
Cool.
All right.
Yep, we had a great time hanging out with you guys, and and the first time I met you at Flying H, you were awesome and friendly, and just first impressions are great, and you were just a super awesome, nice dude then, and didn't know you from anybody, but met you, and man, you were awesome, and the stories you guys have had, and the family racing that you guys have done, you're very successful and you're very good at it. So thanks for sharing those pictures and those stories with us.
You betcha, man. Thanks for having us on. We appreciate it.
Yep. And hopefully we'll be racing with you soon one of these days.
Yeah. In limited, well, we probably won't be limited racing, but we'll be at the same races. You guys
right.
are going limited racing on us.
Right.
That's awesome.
Lots of fun. Cool. You got anything, Rod? You got anything for him?
Ready to call it a good.
All right.
Appreciate you guys coming on.
Adam and Tony, thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for having us.
Lots of fun. We'll see you guys around the track.
All right, man. Thank you.
Okay. See you guys.
See ya.
Man, what a great family. Golly.
Awesome stories, man.
Awesome. The success they've had too is just fantastic. I mean, they're just known around that whole Missouri area. And like you just said, Gary, I mean, they came up, talked to us the other day at Flying H, and it's like we've known them for a long time. Just like the Browns or the Foremans or Craven, all those guys over there. Anybody I'm leaving out, but really super great group.
Yep.
But good. Well said. I didn't know Adam was into welding and all that too. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I kind of picked up on that when he said it sounded like he works for Jim Weens.
And, I know, right?
Yeah, Jim.
I get to hang out with Jim Weens every day.
Right.
Hey, my buddy Ricky needs some help at the track. You want to go?
Yeah. This dude, Ricky, needs help. Can you go?
Yeah.
Ricky who? Come on. I'll just go to the track. Just go.
Let's go to the track. He'll be all right. Our buddy Scott Palmer knows him. Yeah.
What a cool experience that must have been.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
Wow.
That's off. Well, and they start them young, right? In the juniors, you've seen that before. Like we talk about Eric Anders and, Brennan and Jordan here locally. I mean, they're getting those juniors and they're ready to get a big car. They're set. They're ready.
And they're awesome. Yeah. Yeah. They're great racers when they get to be big kids in big cars.
Absolutely. I don't think those winner circle pictures were by accident. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just good stuff. So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're good at it.
Cool.
All right, man. You ready to?
I'm ready to call it. You ready to give me a high five?
Let me find the right apparatus here. Dun, dun, dun. I'm ready. You ready for some 5? Ready? Pow.
Nice.
All right.
Well, we got some plans for next week. We're going to make some trips and do some things. And already got a thought of coming on next. And we'll just see what happens. Stay tuned.
Yep. John Hurd has a shout out. Hannah, also a killer junior racer.
Nice.
Right. Yep.
Shout out.
Maybe we'll see her in a big car sometime.
Heck yeah. I just think they have to have a sponsorship in ratchet straps. You know what I mean? How many
tie all them cars down?
To tie all those cars and juniors down. You know what I'm saying?
And orange paint. Yes.
And orange paint. Golly. You know what I'm saying? They got to buy the oil by the by the barrel.
By the tanker.
Yeah. Holy cow. That's awesome.
The tanker. Yeah. Let's give our sponsors a shout again at the end of the show. Thank you to these partners: Mid-America Dragway, Ultra Color Collision Repair, Sandland Iron and Metal Auto Salvage, and Harry Street Carpet. Thank you to these great partners in 2024. Right on. Man, that was fun.
That was
good
great.
Stuff.
All right. Well, we'll see how much welding you do this week on your tank and other things. So be watching for that.
I got to work 5 days this week, get up at 4 o'clock, put in 11-hour days. And
sounds like a full-time job. Golly.
It sounds like I'm going to be tired by Friday.
Yeah. If you worked one more hour, you'd work half a day.
I know.
Yeah.
I could sign up for that, but I'm not. I haven't yet. I'll see how it goes after a week of 11s.
Woo.
and go from there.
It's got to be dark at 4 a.m. Golly.
It's very dark at 4 a.m.
Mm.
That's just a few hours away.
I know. Get off, get to bed.
Woo!
All right, Gary.
All right, we got some fun stuff going on next weekend, and you can't pry it out of me because it's my secret.
That's right.
All right, Rod.
See you later.
We'll see you later. Good night. Thanks. A lot of fun. And thanks again to the Phillips family. And everybody watching, thank you. Come back next week. We'll see you later.